Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Mile High Dungeon Delvers RPG podcast. I'm one of the hosts of the show, Adrian. You might recognize me from the Mile High Game Guys podcast, which I also do. It's a board gaming podcast that we do twice a week. So we're branching out here into the role-playing podcast, and this is, like I said, episode 1. So what you're about to listen to here is you're gonna be thrown into the action a little bit. The party is on the run, and we're already realistically, this is our third session. So it's episode 1, but it's our third session. So there's going to be some references, there's going to be some backstory that you might feel is missing as you're listening along. That will eventually start to be filled in both through the actual episodes that we've recorded up to this point, as well as we do have 2 prequel episodes that were recorded to get used to each other, to get used to playing, to make sure that this was something that was going to work and that there was a story here. And those were recorded on some older, shittier mics. They're not very good. So the audio quality on those, not great, which is why we're not releasing them as episode 1 and 2. They are going to be some prequel episodes that we'll release a little bit later. You will also notice as we actually get into this episode that the audio quality might not quite measure up to what you would expect if you're coming from Mile High Game Guys, or necessarily based on the audio from this little intro. They are recorded on, again, different mics. We are continually upgrading our audio software, and by episode 4 or 5 here in this, we'll have some really good mics. We'll have a really nice setup, and we'll really be dialed in. But we've been recording all of the sessions since the start, and we really feel like we're in the swing of things, and we don't want to wait too long to start releasing. When we don't want to let perfect be the enemy of good. Is essentially where we're at. So we're starting here with episode 1. The audio quality is good, not great, but the content we think is pretty fantastic. If you feel like there's any backstory you're missing, inside jokes you're not quite getting, don't worry, just wait a couple weeks. We are going to be releasing those prequel episodes. We're just going to wait a little bit to kind of work those in. So those will be coming along with more and more in the Esthanar Dawn campaign. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you really enjoy the show. Hopefully it's something you like. And if it is, be sure to let us know. Without further ado, I'm going to turn it over here to our DM Wes as he gives a brief little introduction to his world, Esthanar, and we're going to then pick up after he's done with that. So thanks for tuning in. Enjoy.
Centuries ago, in the Arcana lands of Esthanar, one of the great archmages of Darumanor discovered something, or perhaps created it, something that would change the course of history. By binding himself to the will of a demon prince, the great archmage Targamuth wrought upon the world a new race and became the first of the Tieflings. He united the nations of humanity in a grand Rydraki empire and ruled in peace for many decades before the rot he had bound himself to began to seep out into the world. It was a slow transformation, but his empire of newly created tiefling mages and bureaucrats soon violently oppressed the human peoples of Esthanar. As Targamuth sought to increase his dominion, even elves and dwarves fought side by side to defend their lands against the onslaught of an old friend who had once been their ally. Even the proud dragon lords railed against the march of Targamuth's demon hordes. But then, a crusader of St. Cuthbert rose up from within the Rosfamari peoples of the west to challenge Targamuth and establish a new holy empire in defiance of their infernal overlords. The war was long and bloody, but Targamuth was defeated, banished and destroyed. His Rydraki empire crumbled. Yet, the pendulum of history swings both ways. The resulting power vacuum thrust the world into an age of darkness, ruled by warlords and zealots until only the strongest remained, with the Church of St. Cuthbert, Empire of the Cudgel, the scales of balance, at its head. Dispassionate in their execution of justice, the Empire of the Cudgel decried the sins of Targamuth to be the sins of his broken and defeated children. All tieflings, they decried, were to be bound in chains and enslaved as punishment. The blasphemy of the Rydraki magics were outlawed, and only the holy magics of priests remained sanctioned. For generations, the Tiefling people were subjugated and oppressed, just as their ancestors had subjugated and oppressed the humans who eventually rose up and fought for their freedom. Not all of Esthenar believes in the barbaric practice of Tiefling slavery or arcane blasphemy, but in the heart of the Empire of the Cudgel, it is a difficult prospect to argue against the law of the Saint. There is a rustling, though, a vague discontent in the underbelly of this shining city, a question that perhaps the debt had been paid, that perhaps one injustice should not beget another. Perhaps it is time for a new Esthenar dawn.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Mile High Dungeon Delvers RPG podcast. I'm Adrian.
I'm Bob.
It's Bob. I'm sorry. It's Bob. It's Bob. God.
Should we start over?
I'm sorry. No, we can take it from It's Bob.
Roll with it. Episode 1 will be fun.
All right. This is Leander.
This is Allison.
I'm Klew.
And I'm the DM, Wes, and we're joining our heroes today on the road after they have fled with some freed slaves that they liberated previously from a plantation nearby, heading north along the King's Road towards the Farrowwood, where they believe they will be able to find refuge and get these freed slaves somewhere safe to live, away from the oppressive glare of the Empire of the Cudgel, looking disapprovingly from beyond the horizon.
Gotta save these tieflings.
Yep, that's what happens when we let me just ramble.
The oppressive glare.
The ramblings of our DM.
Yep. It's like 80% of any good D&D campaign.
Right.
Just DM rambling.
Experience.
So they are several days out from the Sorensen plantation, where they burned it down and liberated some slaves. A couple days after that, they split. The majority of the caravan they were with headed east towards a different kingdom, and this small band is heading north to the Farrowwood, which is a dark and dangerous place, but that Kenaz and Nat have been taking rescued slaves to in order to live. It is currently night, and they are getting ready to bed down for the evening, take their watches, and prepare for the next day.
I, Kenaz, will take the first watch.
And I, Mr. Tiki, will be awake during this since I do not need to sleep.
Okay.
I'll take the morning watches.
Cool. And...
Nat will take the final watch.
Okay.
The fact that you all speak in third person is kind of amazing.
It's a tiefling thing.
All right, so since Mr. Tiki is awake the whole night, as he is a Warforged construct and does not need to sleep, he grants you advantage on all of your watching. So, first watch, roll a perception check.
Alright, so first watch. That's an 11.
Okay.
Huzzah.
Your watch passes uneventfully.
Okay.
All right. Who was next, Nat?
Yeah, Nat will take the next watch. Also an 11.
Your watch passes without incident.
Nat, before you go to sleep,
Yeah, what's up, Mr. Tiki?
just a simple question for you. Do you identify as male or female?
Yup.
What does that mean?
Sorry. Female. Female.
Ah.
I identify as female. Thank you for
Oh, no.
asking.
Should I?
Is it still recording?
Everyone looks so shocked. But
You identify
It's
as
fine. It was just a ghost.
but I do. What brings this up, Mr. Tiki?
My master, friend, Puck, said that every creature seems to identify as a male or a female, and so I am Mr. Tiki. although I am gender fluid, and I do not identify as either male or female. However, since it seems that most creatures are male or female, I simply want to know what type of creature you are.
So, your master, no friend, Puck.
Yes.
Great. He told you that you had to be male or female, huh?
Correct. He said in this world that most of the civilization chooses male or female, and that it would be weird for me not to have a gender.
Well, in nature, there are many creatures whose gender is not so binary. Elves, for instance. Some may change their gender. Frogs, salamanders, and newts all have unusual gender expressions by Puck's standards. So, I
Yes.
just want you to know.
Although elves can change their sex, they are not gender fluid then. They still are male or female whenever they want to be.
I suppose that's true. But you know what, Mr. Tiki?
Yes.
You were not made by nature. And it's not your fault.
It is true. I suppose I was not made by nature. Souls are not made by nature. So therefore, I was not made by nature.
I've learned as a tiefling you should take your freedom where you can get it.
I do appreciate my freedom.
Good night, Tiki.
Thank you. Your answers were adequate.
Good.
Man, so much better the second time.
Okay. I'll do third watch. Uh, 21.
Ooh, look at me, I roll high.
I have a +7, and they both are 14. It's not that high.
Your watch is passed without incident.
Tiki, do you want to take this second morning watch? I could potentially forage for some things. I think our rations are running low, and I'm sure everyone would appreciate a heartier breakfast.
Yes, I am happy to take the second watch. And while you're out there, can you potentially find ingredients for one of the recipes that you make? You have that one from a few hundred years ago. Pretty amazing.
I'll do my best. I feel like I'm missing many of the key ingredients for that. That'd be hard to come across in this grasslands that we're in.
Good point.
But I'll see what I can find. 18.
Yeah, you're able to spend the rest of the watch, or as much time as you think it takes you to forage through the grasslands and
Find some herbs and
find some herbs, or hunt some small rabbits
game.
or squirrels or whatever.
Okay.
Very well.
Get some eggs.
Eggs, berries, whatever.
All right.
I will take the last watch. 9.
Your watch passes without incident.
I will. During that watch, I'll be mixing up a dough using the flour I got from before. Some of the eggs and water. And I have a little pouch. I'll sprinkle some yeast in there. And I'll set that near the fire to kind of warm up, put a cloth over it.
Right.
And at some point while it's forming, and I will go over and take out a small flask of wine and pour it into the mixture. And I will do my little incantation and provide it with false life. As an alchemist, I can infuse such things, and so I shall. I will give it 7 hit points, and I will slice it into 7 pieces.
You've given the pizza hit points?
I've infused the pizza. Well, I've infused this food item with
The ability to give those who consume it additional life. False life.
So it's not a living
false life?
pizza.
False life.
It's
No.
a pizza
Correct.
I'm
that
not familiar with
imbues
false
us with more hit points.
It's like a temporary hit point bolster spell.
Yep. D4 plus something, temporary hit points spread among all of you.
Interesting.
In this case.
I don't like the way that sounds.
I mean, you could cast it on yourself, and you would get those temporary hit points.
Yes.
Right.
You can get all of it.
But instead, he's spreading it among everybody. So everybody
But it
starts
false?
the day with
And he's
one additional
cutting the
necromantic
meal
hit point.
into 7
Wait,
parts,
what?
which
One
is
what?
kind of weird.
Additional hit point. Temporary.
It's true, there's 9 of us. So who are the 2 that don't get?
And when you cut things, they're usually in multiples of 2
It's true.
or 4.
It's an odd
or 8.
number.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Just a little.
Well, there
Well,
are
in
9
any
of
case,
you
we've got
anyway.
Just a
some,
word, really.
we've got
Yeah.
some
Robot, he can do it.
fresh bread with a couple of herbs and some cooked rabbit meat.
Is it like a pita type bread? Like,
It's like a
No, it's
Oh,
like
you
a,
said you put
it's like
yeast,
a
so it's not
ciabatta
leavened.
bread.
okay.
Yeah,
So it's more like a sandwich than a pizza.
Yeah, it's a little bit more like a sandwich.
Okay.
We're missing too many things to make it. And it's
You
got
get into
this
sandwich identity politics later, Wesley. But I don't think this qualifies.
Who has strong opinions about sandwiches?
Anyway.
Reading this pizza.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to see some food ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put this
Enjoy
in my
it.
face.
Good. Oh, this
You
is
gain one
unusually
temporary hit
delicious. Wow.
Do I feel any different? Do I feel as if I have a hit point? Did I notice?
Yeah, it's like
What
rejuvenating.
what is in this meal? I feel
Is that balsamic vinegar? Is that what you...
Yeah. Secret recipe.
I feel approximately 1/46 stronger than I did before.
That's a very specific approximate amount.
But yet you can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it. All right, what's everybody's passive perceptions, please?
14.
10.
17.
10.
20.
All right, so while you are enjoying your morning breakfast pizza sandwich, Allet and Nat and Darcassan all happen to spot on the horizon to the south along the road, heading towards you, what appears to be 2 figures on horseback.
How far away are they?
You're out in the grasslands, and it's quite flat, so you can probably see pretty far, but in order to make out that it's 2 people, they're at least a mile away, but you can definitely tell that, I mean, there's nobody else around.
As a precautionary measure, I'm going to mold the earth and make it difficult terrain. I'd say about 60 feet in front of us.
All right.
So they have to slow down
So
as
they'll
they
have to
approach.
slow down as they approach your caravan, your
Yeah, like between
little...
us and the, yeah.
Can I find 2 rocks laying around?
There are plenty of rocks to find.
Perfect. Mr. Tiki will grab 2 rocks and hold them in their hands, say an incantation, and then he will hand the rocks, one to Nat and one to Kenaz, and he will say to them, think of a creature that is not a tiefling. You will become that to disguise yourself.
Squirrel.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Okay.
Think of a good human or a happy human or something so that these people will not know that you are tiefling.
Do you remember when you first encountered me
Yes.
and I seemed...
Different.
Yeah, this is what we're doing.
Okay.
I've been worse than a happy human before.
This is true.
You alright with this?
You said any creature, though, correct?
That's correct.
Badger,
Preferably
badger,
one
badger.
that is acceptable
In this land.
in this part of the world.
Would I know how half-orcs are perceived in the Empire?
Negatively.
They're have higher status. They're almost on par with humans. People accept them.
Okay.
They're weird and sort of foreign. Like they're more like the Empire would more treat them like an elf or a dwarf,
Okay.
but not like a tiefling
Okay.
or a warforged.
Then I take the rock and I think really hard for a second and take on the appearance of a slightly older half-orc. Decent little tusks, kind of a little bit more weathered in the face. Like, looks like he's been around a little while.
Nice.
I will take the rock and I will transform into a middle-aged woman who appears human, but has sort of a striking resemblance to Nat. Like, you know, there's definitely there's a similarity there. But maybe 40s or 50s woman.
Okay.
And I will go by Kenaz, the current half-orc, and I will kneel down next to him as if I am owned by him.
Okay.
I just pat him on the head. Tongue, tongue, tongue.
And then at that point, Shax says, well, wait, what about us? 4 more tieflings to deal with. Of course, Shax, Belia, and Forcus, the freed slaves, and Trell, your contact from the Tiefling Freedom Front, who had been embedded with the slaves as your sort of mole contact when you arrived at the plantation.
We can attempt to hide you in the cart, as we had before, where you seem to be, at least to the eyes of these guys approaching, you know, sacks of grain or tomatoes or something. Some neutral thing we're transporting along. I certainly hope that I'm capable enough to obscure this. It would help if you guys are like, do we have blankets on there? Like, could they hide under blankets? Do we have a tarp? Do we have...
I'm sure we have our bedrolls and
Yeah,
bed kit and stuff, so we can
You
throw
could
some
gather
blankets.
something together.
Alright. And then I think it's important for the rest of us that we make it look like we're breaking camp for the morning, getting ready to get back on the road.
Which,
How convenient. That is
yeah,
exactly
it's
what you're
exactly
doing.
what we're doing. Trell, how about you? You stay out and look, because you're a guard kind of working under our employ, just so that you're available if we need an extra hand with these two.
Very good, he says. All right. So, after 10 minutes or so, the riders have approached enough, and they slow as they near your camp. The terrain is sort of difficult for their horses. The road is in very bad condition for some reason.
And at that moment I'll cast the Phantasmal Force
Okay.
to obscure the contents of our cart.
And that is an intelligence save against them that they have to
Yeah,
roll?
they have to hit a 16.
Hold on, let me get their stats.
Only if they look at the items.
Salad. Yeah, they'd have to look. They can use investigation against my spell save. But I first have to make them believe what they're saying, so I'll tell them if they want to check it later.
Alright, so how does Phantasmal Force work?
You craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of the creature that you can see within range. The target must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, you create a phantasmal object, creature, or otherwise visible phenomenon of your choice that is no larger than a 10-foot cube that is perceivable only to the target for the duration.
You can only target one of them, too.
Really? Oh, of a creature, yeah.
Wait till one of them looks in the cart.
Yeah, guess on that one.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we can still kind of have the tieflings hidden and covered, you know.
Okay. So roll, as a group, roll me a deception or sleight of hand, whatever you guys feel is more appropriate.
Deception.
Or to
11.
hide those people.
21. Deception.
17. Deception.
6 deception.
19 sleight of hand.
All right. You have, you think, pretty well disguised this pile of tieflings covered in blankets as just a pile of blankets. And other traveling gear. So the two riders, they slow as they get to the difficult area and then kind of approach your camp. And they look around and they say to Allet, "You there?
What's up?
We're looking for a group of tieflings that came through this way. Have you seen them?"
No, tieflings? We haven't seen any tieflings. That would be weird.
Well, aside from our man Trell here.
Oh, is Trell not disguised?
No.
Oh. Well, I have our servant Trell, but besides him, no. That would be weird. Trell, did you see any of the other tieflings?
None at all. Roll a deception check.
But I already used my good roll. No! 8.
The one that you're talking to doesn't seem convinced. And the other one, who's like not at all like looking at you or paying attention at all, and is very much focused on Darcassan and Mr. Tiki, says, "Then I guess you wouldn't mind if we take a look in your cart." And hops down from his horse and walks over to the cart.
Alright, I'll use it on that guy.
Okay.
What are you using?
Phantasmal Force. The
Oh, I thought you already cast. You cast it on a person.
I can only
Yeah.
cast on one of them, so I was waiting until one of them.
So he walks over to the back of the cart and says, "No, yeah, it looks like they've just got some vegetables and grains back here." And
Yeah, this guy makes pizza. Have you heard of pizza?
pizza?
Tell him about it, Darcassan.
Yeah, it's a tradition I learned up north.
It's delicious.
It's quite good.
Perhaps we can make some for you now.
It would take like another 2 hours to just.
Do we have
roast the dough.
a cold slice? We had 7 slices. Did anybody double up? I mean, there's there one left over by the fire.
Stop talking blanket.
I'm not. I'm a half orc.
He's a half-orc.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Are you a blanket?
No, I'm a middle-aged woman.
Oh, okay.
So
Sorry.
he sort of just like brushes
Only the
it off
3
and says,
ex-slaves are
"No, I've had
blankets."
elf food before. Didn't sit well."
Not for everyone.
All right, well, if you see any strange groups of tieflings traveling through here,
Are they a threat? Is there like a
Yeah, should we be
like 20
worried?
of them? Should we have a worry?
they are armed and dangerous. They've burned down a plantation nearby. So
Sounds
Which
crazy.
one?
what does it matter to you?
Oh, sorry. I just... Trying to
Just
be
keep an eye out and be safe, travelers. And then they ride off.
We'll try our best. Thanks for stopping by. They go back the way they came, or they continue?
No, they continue
We ride
Okay.
further
north
up
in
the
the
road.
direction that you were traveling as
We
well.
desperately need a new face for this. For this.
I told you I didn't want to be in charge.
I'd do better changing into a bear and handling it.
You were a human. They asked me, okay? I didn't hear you piping up.
Guess you look so official.
Yeah, with my flail.
The official flail.
Yeah.
Mr. Tiki, how long until I am myself again?
It'll wear off in about an hour.
I mean, arguably, you are yourself. It's just,
How long until I look myself?
do you see yourself?
Oh no. Alpha philosophy.
These are not my hands.
I walk off.
It's like what, an hour? It's like what? It's like an hour.
An hour.
Yeah, it's an hour.
That's good.
Very, very well.
My hands can touch
Just-
everything but themselves.
All right. So then you continue on the road.
How many days has it been since we split with the rest of the slaves and stuff?
2 nights. So
2 nights.
For 2 nights?
Yes.
Start of the 3rd day then?
Right, this is the start of the 3rd day.
Okay.
And I drop a bunch of dice on the floor.
Solid plan.
part of the plan.
And, alright. Yes, so this is the 3rd day. It's a kind of cloudy day. Intermittent showers throughout. But it's sort of early summer and warm.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen a
Nothing
different
enough
version.
to create mud or anything, just enough to break the heat.
Oh, no.
Mr.
Did we notice anything about Darcassan during this rain?
Oh, I just naturally... In rain, I just blend in. Just happens.
So you notice nothing at all.
like
Like
you
I
blend it-
disappear.
Like do you, okay.
I turn sort of like...
Well,
You
like,
don't see me.
I mean, but when we have an advantage because we know you're there. Because it's like increases like your camouflage, right? Basically.
I can attempt to hide
Why
when
would you hide from
obscured.
us?
I don't mean to, it just happens.
Yeah, I think we just notice he's like...
Like I just seem to disappear slightly.
That's the sound it makes.
But I don't think we would like actually not see you. Like we
No,
would still know where
especially
you
because
are.
this isn't like a heavy rain or anything. It's just
Yeah.
intermittent showers throughout the day. Like, so you might notice that when it's raining, it's almost like Darcassan has melted a little bit, like he's raining as well.
That's cool.
So they're ahead of us on the road.
Right.
Oh, do we feel relatively confident they're going to continue on that road as it skirts the Farrowwood south and then head north? Like they're going to be traveling the same road as us until we turn off into the Farrowwood in like 2 more days?
I
I would think so. Why would
don't
they?
know. I wouldn't be surprised. We're already outside of the regular bounds of the Empire. I don't know how long they're going to scout up this road before they
I don't
come
think
back.
they have much
Yeah, they would-
jurisdiction.
Turn around on this road.
Yeah.
And at
Which,
this point,
If they came across us with a different group of people, might be suspicious.
Yeah, you would know that as for the past several days while you were more close to the Empire and in better traveled lands, that like you're on a major trade route, and you had seen a lot of people on the roads previously, but it was weird when you came across as many Inquisitors as you had earlier. Normally, you only see them, if you've ever seen them, in groups of 1 or 2. You would probably, if you hadn't ever encountered an Inquisitor before, you wouldn't have known that these were Inquisitors of the Church. I mean, that's sort of a more secretive...
Do they have like insignia or something that we would have noticed? Or
Hey Bob,
if you're
can you put it,
familiar,
like on the other side?
if you're familiar with the Church, I mean, they like wear the cross of St. Cuthbert on their armor and their shields and stuff, but you might mistake them for just like paladins of, or not paladin, of clerics of the Church, or definitely some sort of official something, but you wouldn't have any reason to believe them Inquisitors
specifically
because
Inquisitors,
that's such
yeah.
a secretive organization within the Church that you wouldn't even necessarily know it exists.
Okay.
But you do because Trell told you all about it.
And because we killed some of them already.
The
Some of their
trainees.
Acolytes.
Yeah.
Little baby Inquisitors in training.
Baby Inquisitors. Oh.
Kill them before they get bit.
But so you had seen a lot of travelers on the road since it's such a major trade route until about a day or 2 ago. Now that you're out in the wilderness, the farmland is not farmland anymore. It's clearly open prairie. There's a lot of wildlife and not very many travelers. You maybe see one other group of travelers or lone traveler in a day instead of the dozen or so that you had been seeing previously. People don't take this road much because it passes by the Farrowwood. It's much less traveled.
Okay. We're still probably a day or so away from where we first meet up with the river? And then
Yes.
it's a little bit further along the river before we cross, right?
Right, so
Okay.
you'll probably reach the crossroads on the next day, which will then take you either west back towards human lands or east along the southern edge of the Farrowwood, and then it's another 2 days from there to the bridge into the wood.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's not waste any time. Continue on our way. Just keep a wary eye in case those Inquisitors come back down the road. We'll need to be ready.
Yeah.
I no longer have the ability to change your figures and what you look like, so we'll have to put you in the back of the cart next time.
Assuming they come back.
Assuming they come back. Today.
All right, and then you travel on, my wayward sons.
Clop, 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 clop. What are we doing? Are we doing watch?
No, we're just traveling.
Just traveling.
Oxen.
Clop,
Chow.
clop, clop.
Mr. Tiki will, as we're going along, go over to Kenaz. And say, Kenaz, why did we not kill those humans? Were they not your enemy?
Well, had circumstances been different, then killing them would have not been a problem.
We're in hiding. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves.
Oh, somebody's
Yes.
eavesdropping, huh?
Sorry.
Seems like a very Allet thing to do.
You know, if it were entirely up to me, and all things being equal, I would have rather killed them. They are my enemy. They're the enemy of not just me personally, but all tieflings. You know, and they are part and parcel with the subjugation that has been going on for as long as I've been alive and much longer. However, I do recognize that sometimes violence like that causes more problems than it solves, and I trust that in the future they'll get their comeuppance. In the meantime, I'm more concerned about the safety of the slaves we have with us, and drawing more attention to ourselves could possibly put them back in harm's way or lead them back into captivity, which I am not willing to allow.
That seems somewhat illogical to me. If you killed them now, then they won't come back later to kill you later.
They wouldn't come back if we killed them, but another group of their fellows, you know, it starts to leave a trail. They're already looking for us from our work at the plantation. If they find that one of their patrols in this part of the world went missing or was found dead, then that gives them an idea of what direction we were heading and, you know, tells them they're on the right path and they can focus more and more closer to where we are. As it is now, they don't know if we're on the road, if we left the road. The longer we can keep them unsure of where we are and where we're going, the better.
But is your desire not to kill all humans anyways?
I don't desire to kill all humans.
Why not? They have put you into slavery, and you seem to not like them very much.
You're right in that I don't trust most humans, at least in this part of the world. There are other areas where most of the humans I've met have been good. Even traveling with us, we have Allet, who's
thanks.
proven herself more than capable and trustworthy, at least so far. You know, just in the Empire, and especially servants of the Empire in particular, I don't trust.
Interesting. But you don't know at any point in time if a human is good or bad.
I suppose that's correct.
And so they could turn on you at any point in time.
And that's true for more than just humans.
And then they can put you into slavery, though.
They can try.
You seem to have a lot of internal conflicts. Your answers are adequate, thank you.
You're a pretty judgy robot.
He said adequate.
He also said he had internal conflict.
Oh, well. Do robots project?
I'm sure he has a projector. Let's watch a movie. Mr. Tiki.
Oh, there are movies in 5, are there now? I'm learning so much about this edition.
I kind of just fall to the back of the wagon a little bit and walk along in some silent introspection.
Trell, having overheard this, would offer you some advice. And he says, Kenaz, the robot is right. humans are innately biased against those that they see as evil.
Could I hear what they're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. What's going on back there?
We're talking about humans, human.
What about them?
There are many amongst you who are good, but the vast number cannot be trusted and should not be trusted.
That's here in the Empire. It's not true in all human lands.
Have you met the vast majority of humans?
I mean, in my travels, I think I could agree to this.
You also think that humans are evil?
Not evil, they have... Humans live for a very short time.
So?
And they have a lot of energy to do things in that time. And I've definitely seen many of them commit horrible atrocities without any regard for why they're doing it. I'm not saying that makes them default evil, I'm just saying...
I mean, obviously some tieflings did some bad things. What about... What's his name?
Targamuth?
Yeah, what about Targamuth? But all tieflings aren't bad. Were there any evil elf kings?
Yeah.
There are evil elf kings too. You know it.
Yeah, there definitely are.
He was a human first.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And
But then he became tiefling and he was still evil, so it doesn't matter.
Wait, are you saying
one could
tieflings are
say-
evil?
No,
That-
I'm saying they're not. I'm saying that just because the one person of a group is evil, you can't extend that
No,
to the
I'm-
whole
I'm-
group.
Well,
I'm
Nat's
saying-
hearing this, so Nat's walking up and is like, "Hey guys, Targamuth, huh?
Yeah.
he
That
was
was
a
a
great
thing.
man.
Mm.
What?
He created our race, says Trell.
So,
Mhm.
interesting conflict.
Such
there.
an action of creation cannot be an evil act. An evil man could not create such as that.
However, if I'm not mistaken, then humans created tieflings. Or humans are tieflings.
Tieflings are human.
Yeah,
This is
tieflings
correct.
are a human. That...
They're like a subhuman.
Excuse
Like-
me?
Not
I don't
in
know if sub...
downwards, but they're like
I
they
was just saying you were one of the good ones.
they branched off. It's like the birds are from the dinosaurs. It's like they branched off.
Like the boy from the plantation, Nastar, he was biologically the son of Sorensens, but he was born as a tiefling. Tieflings and humans are innately linked. They are the same, but
But you said because Targamuth created the tieflings, he couldn't be evil, but the Sorensens created Astar. That was creation.
in a strict biological sense, I suppose.
What other sense is there?
In a divine sense.
Is that's how Targamuth created?
Am I incorrect in believing that Targamuth made pacts with devils and demons and denizens that are evil by their nature
Sounds
to
pretty
create
evil
the
to me.
tieflings?
He did, and rose above it. For hundreds of years he ruled in peace and harmony before finally succumbing to that.
So he became evil.
But in the short lifespan of any tiefling, Targamuth was exceptional in his long life.
So then, am I to believe that humans and tieflings are pretty much just brothers and sisters?
Exactly,
Well,
just
Tiki.
like
I think all of
Astar
our
and
creatures
the
are brothers and sisters. Even this guy. Even you.
I appreciate that. I've always wanted a sister.
they fist bumped.
Tiki, you know it's hard when you fall for these short-lived creatures, right?
Whatever, we're gonna be friends. Shut up. Don't you just said you wanted
Yes,
friends. Don't
of
listen to
course.
him.
It's
We'll
true.
be friends. We don't need his permission.
In the time that she has left, I would prefer to enjoy her presence.
Fair enough.
That's a big compliment from Tiki.
That's the closest thing I've
Mr.
heard in
Tiki's not
saying
my
something
concern.
nice.
Fair enough.
Thank you. That conversation was enjoyable.
Was it?
For me, it was.
I'm glad one of us enjoyed it.
I learned many things.
Me too, and I glare at Trell.
He kind of gives like a self-righteous, I don't notice that you're looking at me glance. And then you continue traveling and find a place to camp for the night.
Same watches.
Yeah, I'll take the first watch again. Real quick.
Oh, that sleeps.
Yeah, why do you get to sleep? Oh, dark vision.
I can't see it now.
Yeah, she can't
Who
see
are
it.
you? I can't see anything.
And she's driving the wagon all day. Although, except for when she comes to the back of the wagon to talk to all of us.
Yeah, just try.
I mean, it's not like the largest of wagons. She could just like lean over her shoulder.
True. All right,
These are perfectly capable
Voice
oxen.
of wagons right here. The stretch wagon. It actually look bad.
it's a wagon train.
It's
got a
got that
caboose
nice-
and everything.
Privacy glass. Yeah. You have to roll it down to talk.
I was saying, could you turn left up ahead?
Oh dear. All right, so I'm taking the first watch.
Yep.
First watch. 13.
The night is calm and rainy, off and on a little bit, and boring. Your watch passes without incident.
Okay. No more awkward questions, Mr. Tiki?
Not yet. Not till morning.
I'm just staring at you.
No awkward questions, just awkward staring.
Yep.
All right. Well, I take the second watch. 13.
When you woke for your watch, it had been kind of just finishing a light rain, and now the skies are clear for your watch, and you spot in the sky a crow crossing, just a lonely single crow crossing the sky. You take no note of it until the third or fourth time that a crow crosses the sky.
I will call over Mr. Tiki. I'll be like, hey, Tiki. Hey, Teak. That's what I'm going to call you.
Teak.
Is that...
You've dispensed
That's
with
what
Mr.
they call magic in one of George R. R. Martin's. It's like the Force in one of his books. Teak.
Do you see that crow up there? You see that? I don't know. Do you see it?
I stare blankly at you.
All right.
You were so chatty last
I've seen
night.
that same crow pass a few times. With no murder of crows. I mean, no group. In case that was unclear. Is it passing again? Could I hail it? How close is it?
It's pretty high up.
Unfortunately, I cannot take a wild shape of anything that flies. I have not yet mastered such a thing. But maybe just keep an eye on this one? Maybe just remember how many times it flies overhead tonight. If you can tell if it's the same crow.
Mr. Tiki finally comes out of his power down state. I'm sorry, were you expecting a conversation?
Oh, good. No, Teak, you're fine.
I heard everything that you said, though.
Oh, well, okay, that's good. I did want to tell you, though, before I finish my watch.
Yes.
I was born of humans. Just like that Sorensen kid. Yeah, and they raised me actually like pretty normal. I wasn't sold into slavery until I was a young woman. I was captured. So, yeah, a lot of humans suck. But nature doesn't care.
Interesting. And have you seen your family again since you were sold into slavery?
Once.
Have you went to go visit them?
Once only. But I'm afraid of being around too much, Better for me to be in the Outlands.
I understand your plight. I had to leave my home village of gnomes to ensure their safety, and I can never return.
How long ago was that?
It was probably about 50 years ago.
You miss it?
Every day, I miss my friends and family.
Sorry, man.
It's okay. It's something we can bond over.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, sure.
And they did.
All right, I'm gonna switch off with Darcassan, Teak. Good
Very
night.
well.
Darcassanti.
Darcassan, comma, Teak.
Oh.
Darcassanti.
Dark Asante. Sounds like my alternate ego rapper name.
No, it's a chilled beverage, dark Assan tea.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, Darcassanti.
Dark Assan tea.
I'm gonna tell Darcassan that I was told by Nat that there were crows in the sky.
Crows?
Yes. I think multiple from what she was saying to me.
This far out?
I'm asleep. Unless you want to come ask me. I'm heading down.
In my many travels, crows are something you only see near civilization.
Perhaps we are getting close to this village? No, we're still a few days away.
Maybe there's a farm somewhere nearby?
Possibly.
I don't know. That seems bewildering. And you said it was multiple crows?
Yes, she was speaking at me, and she mentioned that there were multiple crows.
You could look for them yourself.
Or wait me back up.
Well, I'll keep my eye out for crows.
Very well. I will continue scanning the territory.
24.
Okay. You do not spot any crows during your watch. The night is clear and passes without incident.
And a 24 again.
All right. The morning comes. The day quickly warms as the morning dew and the
moisture.
rain, the moisture, and the humidity in the air
Starts
kind of
to
burns away
evaporate.
pretty quick as soon as the sun rises.
Mm.
And then it's morning.
I'll get up and I'll come over to Darcassan and be like, hey, did you happen to see a crow last night?
You know, Tiki mentioned it. I did not see any crows flying overhead.
Yeah, it was weird. It was just flying back and forth across the sky. I got this feeling it was watching us.
There's one singular crow.
Yeah, I thought so. I didn't see a murder. Of crows.
You can roll intelligence checks, the both of you, if you'd like.
'Cause I have a hunch,
Mr. Tiki as well.
Oh, me too?
No, Mr. Tiki.
21.
9.
I feel like it could be a familiar.
16.
Mr. Tiki and Darcassan remember the last time you saw a bunch of crows out in the middle of nowhere was the last time that you encountered Inquisitors, or not the last time, but
It's true. When there was the
when there was a bunch of them.
14 or so of them riding around,
Yeah, when there was you.
there were crows as well. So that's something we should definitely keep our eyes out about.
And Darcassan specifically remembers that that was one of the riddles that Serene the Wanderer had told you. One of the
answers was a crow.
answers was a crow.
I'm gonna walk up. So I saw the trees between which the crow was flying. Right? So hearing this from
So there
Mr.
was
Tiki,
there's no trees or anything. It's just that from one horizon to the other, it sort of flew across the sky. And then a little while later, you saw it again coming in a different direction. And it did that 3 or 4 times across your whole watch.
I'm gonna, but we're in grasslands areas. The grass it's knee high or calf high or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down in the grass and whisper to it, be like, "Hey, grass." I don't know. What would I call grass?
Grass?
Hey guys, did you see any men riding on horseback last night? What would the grass whisper to me?
Are you
I am using
speaking with plants?
Speaking with plants.
They would say... No.
No hoofbeats?
I mean, there's all kinds of hoofbeats.
Fair
Not
enough.
right here.
What about crows? Have crows been eating at you?
No.
All right. Okay. Have a
Yeah,
good grass time. What?
far away. Sorry, it took a while for the...
The Rhizome Network.
The
Yeah.
Rhizome Network. That's good.
Nobody's eaten me.
What direction were these crows in?
Away from the sun.
All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good grass day. How do you end a conversation?
Have a good
with
grass day.
That's how. That's apparently have a good grass day. All right. So I'd come back and I would say there were more crows to the west. There were crows to the west. Right? Away from the sun.
Interesting way to interpret it, but yeah.
It's a very grass way to talk. Trust me. They're always about the sun.
I mean, they're grass. They don't know north from south.
They don't know.
They know the sun.
They know the sun. Fucking love that sun. Anyway, more crows. To the west, meaning
Behind us.
No,
Where we've
you're
come
heading
from.
north.
we're heading
We're heading
north,
north,
so
but east.
Yeah.
northeast. So they could be coming they could be coming up the road behind us.
Or watching from behind us.
Or watching from behind us. This could be a scout of some kind, or...
Wasn't that where the shrine was?
Yes. Yeah, we left the Sorenson's estate, which was to the west of us.
Mhm. And then that big St. Cuthbert shrine carved into the hill.
The Inquisitors
Yes,
are
several
there.
days to the southwest.
That's where those 12 men were riding. Wait, I didn't see them, did I?
No.
No,
and
but
you
I
did-
would've-
You would
well-
maybe told us about them. Probably not. I don't know.
I think I'd...
You did mention it at the time.
I think I just made sure that we stayed hidden.
I might say that's maybe perhaps those two Inquisitors had
Could be.
returned on a different road.
Could be.
I think we should keep moving east.
I feel like we need to be aware of any crow flying around.
Yeah.
Especially if it's alone. Especially if it seems to be watching.
Yeah. Do we know... Can I roll a check to see if I know about Inquisitors having familiars? Or animal companions of some kind?
You can. Roll me an Arcana check.
I don't have to train that, do I?
No.
Is there
No.
training in fine?
If you have proficiency, then that's all the better. But
7. You guys, I don't know.
you know
anything
that
about
people who
Inquisitors.
cast magic can have familiars.
Yeah.
You've never encountered an Inquisitor before to know if they can cast magic.
Got it.
Well, then I believe that those of you who need nourishment should eat hearty so that we can move this along and perhaps stay up later than normal so that we can continue traveling.
It's true. Today might be the day that we come to the bridge. That would be great.
Right.
I think we're still a day or so from the bridge. After,
Yeah, this is the day
we'll
that
hit
you
the
will reach.
crossroad today.
Oh, the
Right.
crossroads. That's
There
what
is
I'm
a
sorry.
bridge at this crossroads, but it is
And then
not the bridge that you're
And then
heading
the
for.
crossroads. Yeah.
I mean, could we take this bridge and then follow the north side of the river? It'd be harder going, but
It's true, because the road is to the south of...
So as you
River
recall,
Farrow.
the Farrowwood is insidious in its growth.
it's like right up against the river.
And it grows right up against the river, and yet somehow never across the river. So you could cross the river here and head into the wood at a different spot, wandering through the wilderness, instead of crossing at the bridge you're used to
Or we
and
have-
going through a trail that you may be more familiar with.
Right.
It may take longer and you are more likely to get lost.
Yeah.
And as you know of the Farrowwood, getting lost could mean losing years of your life.
Let's stick to the road.
Agreed.
Not that I ever mind getting lost in the woods, but...
Not necessarily just years of your life. Could be your life, too.
That's true. It wouldn't be a problem for us.
Right, you could be lost for minutes and have lost years.
Yeah.
Time plays tricks in the wood if you find yourself crossing into the Shadowfell for some reason.
Yeah.
Very
I think
well.
we just keep a lookout.
Yeah, if it was just us, I'd say cross now and we could disappear into the wood, but we have a lot of people here who are not familiar with it and its ways, and it's harder to move a group undetected through the wood. So,
If we see a crow again,
Shoot it.
yes, I think so. I don't believe they are changed folk like myself. I think they are familiars.
Right. Well, you'll find out when you shoot it.
it just changes into a person and falls.
That would be rough.
Yeah,
Alright.
don't ever lose your animal form
I know.
flying. It's bad.
No.
That can't be good.
I have not mastered the flying form yet, so if it is a changed folk, it's a powerful one.
Darcassan, would you be up for making one of your heartier breakfasts for our companions so that we can travel further distance?
I would need more supplies, I feel, to make something hardier. I think we could try to track down, game or something in the area, but I really don't think...
I believe it'd be worth the extra time to get a good hearty meal at the start of the day. We can start going later into the evenings and try and put more ground under us. We've already ran into 2 patrols, and if either one of them runs into us again, they might recognize that we have, our party has changed composition.
So, roll your survival check as a group.
I'll also hunt.
Oh yeah, as a group.
15.
Nice.
18. All right, survival
9.
21.
Survival.
12.
Right.
15.
You're able to spend an hour or so going out and foraging through the grasses and finding some small game and, enough plant foods and wild gourds to muster up a
I'll
hearty
use
breakfast.
my spice pouch to enhance the flavors and cook stuff over the fire.
Nice.
While we are eating breakfast, Mr. Tiki will go over to Allet.
Mr. Tiki.
Allet, how was your breakfast?
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not much of a cook myself, so you guys are awesome.
Yes. Darcassan has made many meals for many people, using very minimal ingredients. This is one of his best.
Tis a gift.
Indeed. A question for you.
Yes.
Are you perhaps a diplomat where you come from?
No, I am not.
Then how is it that you are surrounded by tieflings that were enslaved and tieflings who have questionable feelings about humans, and yet you are not afraid?
Oh, I've been around quite a few interesting characters over the years. I have some friends that are tieflings where I come from.
Interesting.
But it's true, I have not taken a particular liking to Trell.
And why is this?
He doesn't like humans.
Interesting. And what if he were to attack you?
Then I would win.
Indeed. Your confidence is unparalleled. Is this a human quality?
Probably.
And, you say where you come from, you have friends that are tieflings?
Yeah.
How close are you?
To the tieflings?
Yes.
I have one very good friend that's a tiefling.
Oh. Interesting. So that's why you feel comfortable around these tiefling?
Yeah, I mean, they have not shown any aggression towards me. I have no reason to mistrust them.
Interesting. And how do you feel that your people have enslaved tieflings?
Not great, for sure. I do not agree with their ways.
Interesting. And do you not feel any personal shame for this?
I don't think so. I fight it whenever I can. Kind of how I got whisked up in this, I would say. One of the reasons that I was able to do so.
Interesting.
I've never enslaved any tieflings.
That's a very good point. And you are trained as a fighter, is this correct?
I've had some training here and there, you know.
Mm-hmm. And who trained you?
I picked up things, various places. There was an army that tried to recruit me once. That was fun, but I wasn't much for discipline, structured life. I did have a mentor in the city. I don't remember his name. I would, though. I'll have to look it up.
This mentor must have a lot of faith in you. My friend, Puck, told me that in human society, well, based on your appearance, I believe you are a female. Is this correct?
Yes.
I've been told that females are not normally fighters. They normally have babies and stay at home.
Many do that, but
Yet again, Kenaz just shakes his head and walks away. This nothing good can come of this.
But I'm more disposed to fighting, I think. I'll stick to that for now.
Interesting. Well, I think it is good that you do not conform to these gender identities that I've heard of.
Me too.
Very well. This was a pleasurable conversation. Thank you.
My mentor's name was Silas. I would probably tell you that.
Silas.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't.
I would like to meet Silas one day.
I'm sure he would be interested to meet you.
He has trained someone very confident,
Thanks.
if not overly. Thank you.
Allet makes an offended face.
So while they are having their conversation, I was also, since we've made plans to try and move a little quicker and be more prepared on the road, I've done my spells a little differently, and I am going to cast Find Steed and summon my ancestral, or spiritual, guardian steed.
What's his name?
Steve, the steed.
It does not. I don't name them.
Well, we just named him Steve.
Demarius.
So. Welcome, Steve.
Alright. Your horse's name is Steve now.
When he comes up, we're like, Steve.
Kind of scoff a little. I'm like, I make a fine steed. Kind of walk off.
I would think he would be more offended at the idea that he would degrade an animal by riding it.
Nah, that's fine. Horses don't mind.
Maybe you could talk to
especially
them.
because it's
a celestial creature.
Yeah, it's a celestial creature.
Yeah, it's like not our plane.
Maybe you could talk to the horse and see if it is okay with being called Steve.
It's like
Can I speak with celestial animals?
Oh, is it celestial?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's technically a celestial being.
It doesn't speak horse.
I mean, I'm sure it speaks horse.
But she has to speak with animals. Does that include?
I think it would probably include
I feel like it should.
Unless
it
it's sentient.
So the
somehow,
beast
and
language
it's
is
like a
totally
full
is.
language.
And then it would be even
the
easier to
beast
talk to
language
it.
is a realm.
But then I wouldn't speak its language because I don't speak celestial.
that
Do you speak celestial?
this thing got summoned from.
Gotcha.
We're not talking
Which it doesn't matter because this steed doesn't speak celestial.
Well, I want to respect it if it
but-
has a name already.
But it will right now.
Right.
It understands common. Normally, my steeds when I summon them, I normally have them understand Infernal when I speak to them in Infernal, just to kind of keep it on the DL. But since I'm traveling with so many other people who don't actually speak Infernal, I'm this time summoning it to speak Common or
to be
understand.
fair, there are more tieflings than there are the three of us. So.
Wait, Allet. You've been traveling with a pair of oxen for literally like a week. And suddenly the shiny horse you want to talk to?
That's a good point. Do you know the oxen's names?
I think I would. I certainly would. I would have talked to them. I haven't done it. We haven't roleplayed it, but I feel like I would have done it, right?
Just randomly going up and
Honestly,
chatting
what
with
are
the
the
oxen in the
oxen's
morning and in the evening.
Yeah,
I could
I'll
see
name
that.
them.
That'd totally
Your
be
names
nice.
are-
And Bart.
There we go. Gus and Bart.
Good to know.
Yeah, Gus and Bart. They're chill.
I give them a nice pat. You're good oxen.
No, that one's Gus. That one's
Oh,
Bart.
sorry, Bart. Sorry, Bart. And then I go over to pat Gus too. And then if we have any oxen treats, I feed them. But we
Oxen
probably
treats.
Don't. Yeah,
Berries?
like carrots or apples. But
I don't
Did you find any
actually know. I'm
apples
just
when you were
guessing
foraging?
Based on horses. I feel like we would have eaten them.
We found gourds and we found ground squirrels.
Are there any
They
gourd,
don't really
like,
eat squirrels.
waste, like maybe if you peeled them, or like the stems or something, and I could try to see if the oxes
Yeah,
want to
you
eat
can
them?
take the trimmings.
Okay, and see if the oxes want to eat the gourd trimmings.
They do.
I was gonna say,
Good boys.
I'm not really
Good
gonna
boys.
Google it. We're just gonna assume oxen eat
They
gourd
do.
trimmings. Great.
I mean, they've only been
They
eating
eat it
like grass
Eat it
for like
all.
ever, so probably anything else that's not that is like, oh,
Yeah,
this is
feed.
okay, I guess.
So
They
it's
like the corn.
always the same steed.
Yes.
Steve.
It is
The
literally
Steve.
always the same.
Allet has just named.
So is it a horse? Or is
I
it
mean,
a pony
that's what I
or a
thought. He
camel
said it
or
first.
an
He's like, I
elk
summoned
or a
my-
mastiff?
It's
Steve.
definitely a war horse.
His turns into a horse.
I can do a war horse. It's not that hard.
But
I don't know why
an
you're
elk would've been
advocating for
pretty
your friend to
fucking
ride
sweet,
you.
is all I'm saying.
Which,
or like a big
I mean,
ass
is it
goat.
always this?
And
Because it
I
says
just-
that you summon a spirit that assumes the form of. So I figured every time I cast it, I could have it assume a different form. It's like a spirit that I'm bonded
It's the
with.
same
Yeah.
spirit, just different form.
In either
I would
case,
argue.
casting this spell again summons the same steed.
What if it's so? Does that like imply that it's
I think
Like
it's the same
remembers us.
creature.
well, or like is if it's damaged, it like does it heal when it goes back to its plane?
If it
Yes.
dies, it
Oh,
goes
okay.
back to the Beastlands, and then you summon it again, fresh and new.
Right.
So just that, yeah, it remembers you. I guess is the point of it being the same one.
So why are you?
I'm fine with it always being a war horse.
Are you fine with its name being Steve?
I am not fine with this name being Steve. You may call it Steve.
Well, if you
And
have
I'll-
a better name,
It will,
then
it
I'll
will
call it
answer
that.
to Steve.
What happened?
I have a
in,
telepathic bond with it. We just speak into each other's minds. We
what's
don't
its
use
name?
names. Doesn't have a name.
You just call it you.
Names might be a this plane kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Not so much a
You don't think the gods call each other by their names?
The old gods have names.
Which ones are the old gods?
The old gods.
The elder gods.
Oh,
ones are the
yeah,
younger ones?
elder ones.
Oh, you know, this Cuthbert and the elfie one and the... I don't
Yeah,
really...
the elfie
yeah,
one's really new.
Yeah, it's the
I don't
younger
really-
one. That
That's
doesn't
the one
make
that,
sense.
that he used a name for.
Yeah, I don't really keep up on these. Old Lamara and like...
These are all
Farming
names.
gods.
It's
These are
definitely
all
a
names.
fiend.
Yeah, these are the
it's
new
a-
gods. The
new
new
go-
gods have
oh,
names.
it could be-
It could be a
Old gods
celestial
have
fae
Do you
or
worship the old
Okay,
gods,
okay.
even though
So
your
it's definitely
species has only
fiend.
existed for like 1,000 years?
I worship the old gods as
So-
a druid.
By
The gods
default,
of
if someone
nature.
was to detect
Those
their
who
evil,
created the
it would
earth
show
and
as evil.
all this plane
Right.
and its
Yeah.
Even celestial
grandiosity.
also pick up that.
What do you get out of
Celestial
this deal?
shows as good favor.
The old gods are not
That's
swayed by
basically what
deals.
that
They have no care for us.
Then why do you worship
good,
them?
neutral, or evil?
I
But
observe
an
their
evil horse, I mean, what the hell? It's an evil horse.
Word.
Or a demon looking like a horse.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what it is. It's the spirit of a demon of some kind
Right.
that has taken the form of a horse.
Is it like a big black horse, or is it a white horse? Is it a pale horse?
Is it actually
It's
sparkly?
piebald.
Eyeball. Yeah, thanks.
It's a domesticated celestial horse? Jesus. I thought you were against domestication.
It's piebald.
All right. So anyway,
Kenaz, what is the meaning of this horse?
Is it sparkly?
This is
Are celestial things sparkly?
it's an
a trusty steed
Oh,
of
is it
mine
Flamey?
that
Probably a little
when
Oh, it's normal.
I am in need of rapid transportation or another set of eye and ears, I have him come along. He and I have a telepathic link, and I can communicate with him at distances of up to a mile, so I can use him to scout separate. And
But he doesn't know what his name is.
I've never needed to speak to him. Yeah, that's a lot what he looks like. Maybe not quite as sweet of a mane, though.
Yeah, not as well kept.
No.
Is he going to pull a wagon?
No.
No, the oxen are
No, this is so that I can scout ahead of the group or behind the group as needed. He's a fully trained and very effective war horse, so I can fight from his back. And
Sounds pretty cool.
since we need, we're going to be moving a little bit harder, one less body in the wagon, and my ability to range a little ahead and behind just to keep an eye on things, I feel is useful at this time.
Very well. And is this a gift from your god?
Yes.
Interesting.
It comes as part of my devotion.
Do you get your god any gifts in return?
I fight for justice and good in his name.
And what is his name?
Is he one of those gods that has a name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't use
Yeah, yeah.
Newer
He totally
gods.
does.
They don't have names.
They are.
They just have a sense of who they are.
They are not.
Is it the tiefling god? Is
I
there a tiefling
thought
god?
I did have a
Unnameable.
god.
As the true gods
Yeah, I know
of
we talked
nature
about it.
are.
Yeah, that's why I probably should just check the Slack.
Pick the
So I think that's where.
Speaking of summoned creatures with names, as an aside, in a different campaign, my little druid who could speak Sylvan, one of the ranger in the party found like a blink dog as a pet.
Tritherian.
That's a good pet.
And
He's the god of liberty and retribution.
Ooh,
And
that's a
so
good
I
combination.
serve him by freeing tieflings and giving retribution to their enslavers.
Nice.
and he's the
Very well.
like they came up with some name for the dog, and I was like,
He's the good
no, I talked to that
opposite
dog.
of
He's got his
Cuthbert.
name Spotty
Cuthbert's like
Dotty
lawful good,
Spotty
like on one
Dotty
side of
Nice.
ostensibly
So he became
lawful.
Spotty Dotty.
This
Of
guy's
course
like
it. Of
good.
course it caught on.
But they're kind of
Right.
Bob,
opposites.
Master Troll.
Interesting.
Well, Cuthbert is strictly lawful neutral.
lawful neutral guy.
He's
yeah.
very much about
Money.
what is law
Yeah,
is
no kidding.
is law. It doesn't matter if the law is good or bad. It is the law.
Law is uninteresting to me.
Me too.
Only the laws of
And
nature will prevail.
Tritherians
Oh,
is
I don't believe that either.
it doesn't matter if the law is good or
You think
bad.
the laws of nature are immutable?
We should
No.
do what is
But I
good,
think-
regardless of the
Regardless
law.
of law.
I don't have to honor
So
their
it's-
laws.
So he's like chaotic good and lawful neutral.
Good luck with
Or,
trying to breathe
yeah, lawful
underwater
neutral.
or
Yeah,
survive
he's
alone in the Farrowwood.
So you said Tritherion?
Tritherian.
Right there.
Some things we cannot change. All the things
And-
the old gods have made.
Kenaz, I have been liberating tieflings as well. Do I also get gifts?
Have you spent years in prayer and solitude seeking the company of Tritherian and seeking to serve him directly?
I mean, you've spent years in solitude.
Yes. Although I've only met him today, I suppose, through this horse.
Shakes horses' hoof.
Perhaps your gifts came in other forms, like your alchemy abilities.
Your friendship with Darcassan.
French.
What other abilities do you have besides alchemy? Or is that most of it?
He's made of metal, that's cool.
It's not an
Ting,
ability.
ting, ting.
It involves abilities.
Does it? Like
It
what?
translates directly to abilities. Loud noise making,
Yeah.
Well,
shininess.
You may not get the same kind of gifts that I get through my devotion to him and my direct service to him, but anyone who serves for liberty and also retribution walks in his light.
very well. I will at least think of him. It seems inefficient to do this work and not get gifts at the same time. So,
I don't
So good.
I don't work for him to get gifts. I get gifts because I work for him.
I will ponder on this. Thank you.
Anyway,
Shall we proceed?
Anyway.
Shall we proceed east?
And on that note, feeling a little uncomfortable with this, because I'm also not used to being in groups of people, I mount on my horse and take off to do a little scouting a little ways ahead of the group. Okay.
so about how far ahead of the group do you travel and for how long? Do you come back periodically?
Yeah, I'd say, I might go up to a mile or so ahead of them. It's pretty wide and flat, so I can kind of see the dust cloud of the wagon behind me, and I don't try and get too far out of sight, but especially if there's a rise coming, I might ride up to the rise and then scout around and wait for them.
Okay.
If I see something, I would ride back to tell them. Periodically,
Say
as we're traveling, when I come back, I might ride behind and do the same thing, go to a rise behind and just scout and make sure nothing's approaching us from behind, and just kind of
And I'll,
doing
eye out for
laps.
and I'll give him another stone as well that he can use for disguise self while you're out there by yourself.
In case you need it.
In case
Thank
you need it.
Kenaz. Just tuck it into my little belt pouch.
All right.
If you see that crow, do your best. Maybe throw your spear at it. I know, it's a long shot.
Zing.
Be a low-flying crow.
Maybe you will get lucky and find it landed.
Your god may guide you.
He may.
I hope.
He's been known to do that.
All right, so about midday, you're scouting ahead, Kenaz, and you come over a bit of a ridge, and you can see down in the valley below you the River Farrow and the Farrowwood beyond. You've gotten to a point where you can see it's 15 miles or something down into the valley to the river, and you see that the crossroads. You can't really see it, but you know that right about at the edge of the forest where the river diverges is where the crossroads should be, and then that's where you would turn west. Or east, rather.
Do I see anything at the crossroads, people?
You can't tell from this distance.
Okay.
You would need to ride down into the valley, but you can see the vista laid out before you.
Okay. About how far ahead do I feel like I am from the group at this point?
You look back and you see them. They're coming up the ridge towards you. Maybe half a mile back, right at this point.
Okay.
You've gotten to the top of the ridge and have circled a little bit, trying to keep an eye out, and they are presently catching up.
Okay. I ride back down to them, let them know that over the top of this rise we enter the valley where the crossroads is, and we're. Those of you who have not yet seen the Farrowwood, prepare to get your first glimpses of this dark and dangerous place.
So, as you all crest the ridge, you do see on this, it's a no cloud in the sky, bright blue, hot kind of summer day. And as you crest the ridge and look down into the valley, you can see the river and the Farrowwood beyond, and it's just sort of a mesh of darkness lighting the land almost. Even in this bright sunny day, it's almost gray. There's colors abound in the plains, especially down near the river where there's a bit more green and some wildflowers are growing close to the river. But on the other side of the river, it's just sort of gray and drab and dark.
This was definitely your guys' plan.
You're not there.
Yeah, no, everybody is up.
Yeah, we've all
sorry,
reached
I
that
thought
rise.
Those of you who haven't seen
I
it
wrote down to
before.
tell you that, hey, we're going to see it when we crest this rise. We crested the rise, and you're seeing this all laid out before you.
Right. And Adrian, considering how hot it is, or Kenaz, rather, considering how hot it's been and how hard you've been riding back and forth to try and keep up, I want you to roll me a Constitution save.
Hot day.
How many days' ride is it from here to the village?
We're maybe
3 or 4 more days. 2 days from where we leave the road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Less
from
if we
where that
ride hard.
Where that crossing is, it's like 2 more days. There's
14.
Okay, you're fine. It would occur to you at this point that you would have no luck trying to take... Remembering the bridge that you know as it's crumbling across the river and that there really is no road beyond into the wood, that at that point in a couple of days when you cross the river and head into the wood, you would have to leave the oxen and the cart behind.
Yeah. Should have brought
go
one
ahead.
of the other members of the Freedom Front with us to take the cart on their own.
Yes. Well, perhaps Trell could take it. He's no special interest in staying in Mancaster.
You have piqued his interest.
Yeah,
He wishes
said
to
he
see
wanted
the
what
accommodations and what you have done here, and how that can be incorporated into the Tiefling Freedom Front, and also that you promised once delivering these people, you would be willing to help him on a more dangerous mission within the Empire.
That's true. We should go ahead. The Farrowwood is a wild place. All the things the old gods have created, and many they did not.
Yeah. Fair enough. Adrian, Kenaz, do you continue to scout ahead?
Yeah. Maybe not riding, particularly hard, but definitely, a horse at even a quick walk would move substantially faster than
definitely
ox and wagon.
I'm gonna keep watching for crows with my passive perception of 20.
Surely, would anybody else like to ride Steve to scout. He understands.
Move probably as fast as he does.
He speaks common and can communicate telepathically with me for up to a mile. So you could ride him ahead. If you see something, tell him, and he can communicate directly to me, where I can tell the rest of the group.
It's a pretty good idea. Me or you, Allet? You want to go ride Steve? You named him. You should do it.
Sure.
Yeah, go give Steve a
Sure?
ride.
Question mark.
Okay. So Kenaz will stay with the cart.
Why is Kenaz not going?
Because he's got a psychic link with Steve.
I can speak
Oh,
to
so
Steve.
like he'll like
for up to
relay
a
back
mile
to
away.
you.
So
Like,
you can tell Steve what you see, and he'll tell me what you're
but
describing.
only for a mile. That doesn't seem that far.
It's pretty far.
Okay.
Farther than you can see.
I mean,
I guess.
this cart's, it still takes a while to go a mile.
Okay. Sure.
Great. Let's do that.
All right. I communicate to Steve that, hey,
I don't have very high animal handling. I guess you probably don't.
He's-
Summons?
and he's also very smart. So
I think
he's,
you're fine.
I can
you
talk
don't need to
to.
make ride checks in this edition, huh? Or
You do. It's athletics.
athletics? I'm okay at athletics. 'Cause I'm-
I think, athletics are animal.
I mean, yeah,
handling,
especially
one of the
considering
two.
how smart he is, and that it's a war horse trained to
He understands.
train
Deal
to
with
take a
combat,
rider. It's a low check, but you still need to be able to do it.
Okay.
So roll an athletics check.
Have you ridden a horse before?
Yeah, but I'm from the city, bro.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Nat, are you sure you don't want to?
I might. No, give her a chance. Give her a chance.
right,
I'll be
all
right
right.
here.
It takes you a second to get control. Steve obviously doesn't have somebody ride him that's not
We
Kenaz,
might have made a
It's okay,
mistake.
Steve.
but
We can do it.
you're able to.
I'm also,
to allow you to
talking
ride
to
him.
him telepathically and letting him know, hey, no, this is.
That's true. Does
For the
Steve
best.
also dislike humans?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they named him Steve.
I wanted to ask if he had a preferred name, but no one could tell me.
For the first time in my many years of being around Steve, I telepathically ask him what his name is, and let's see if he gives me an answer.
Survey says.
Wait, we're assuming that
Dark Feet.
we're assuming this horse's gender. First of all, it's a planar being. It may not even have a gender.
Okay.
I've
We
been
could
telepathically
give it-
communicating with him for years.
Okay,
He
then we could give
identifies
it
as a male.
agender
That's
name.
true. Fair enough. Fair enough. I concede the point.
Oh, wait, what's the name of your horse?
Dark Feet.
Dark Feet.
That's his name?
Dark feet. That's a pretty good name.
Wait, 2 words?
One word, smushed
Hyphenated.
together.
Dark Feet.
No, just one word, smushed together. Dark Feet.
Dark feet.
Dark Feet.
Dark Feet.
Dark Feet?
Like he's got dark feet.
Allet, you're on Blackfeet, right? Blackfoot.
She is.
Right.
Blackfeet.
That's the name?
Yes, Black Feet.
Dark
Blackfeet.
feet.
Dark Feet. Dark Feet.
Okay.
Dark Feet.
She has taken Dark Feet.
Come on, Dark Feet.
So
Let's
you're
go.
taking Darkfeet
Is
down.
it feet like feature or feet like
Like
Like it's
like
feet.
toes?
like
Yep.
yes.
Yes.
Like appendages.
Yes. It does.
That's a
what it
We
horse,
know
right?
it doesn't have
Yes,
any
it
feet.
has
Celestial.
Disgusted.
It's an infernal horse.
Oh, I walked away.
Yeah,
I'm so
infernal
sorry.
horse.
He's in it. Yeah, he's
does what
a
he wants.
fiend, and in his normal plane, he's got feet, and so he's Dark Feet.
All right.
Alright.
All right.
Roll
Maybe he's
a
off feet. We don't know.
perception check.
Me?
Yes.
Find
And Darkfeet as well.
non-cloven hooves.
Oh god.
10. I'm very distracted trying to not crash Dark Feet.
Somebody roll for dark feet here.
gotta figure out what his stats are.
Get your horse stats together.
Well, I'm just not sure.
Is it normal horse stats?
I guess it was a 9.
Okay.
Because it'd be just roll and then add its wisdom modifier, because that's what perception comes from, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
A horse doesn't have plus to perception?
It does. I rolled an 8. It got a 9.
So you ride ahead for a bit.
It has a passive perception of 11, though. Just.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, my passive is higher than that, but we could just say that I'm distracted by trying to ride the horse correctly.
And it's a big horse.
Okay.
Heard he has
That's
feet
true.
on
Bigger
his
than
own
they're in the
plane.
city most of the time.
So
It's like a Clyde's.
you ride ahead for a while. and then decide to wait and let the caravan or the carriage catch back up. You did not spot anything out of the ordinary.
Should I go back?
Is that a question
we're
you're
catching
asking
back
yourself?
up to you. We're catching up to you now. I don't know how far we are from the crossing, but we can see it ahead of us, maybe.
Well, you
We
can
can
ask,
see the valley.
Should I go
ask
up?
Blackfeet to ask Kenaz.
Darkfeet.
Can I talk to Darkfeet?
Yeah,
The Darkfeet?
He understands
he
common.
understands common,
Um,
but he can
And
telepathically.
then you can telepathically communicate
okay.
to me.
Darkfeet, tell Kenaz we have not seen anything out of the normal at this time. Hey!
Bing.
Hey!
There, so far nothing ahead. Did you go all the way
Almost
to
weird.
the?
Are you going to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
To the edge of the crossing? It's like I can see them behind me and the crossing in front of me, right?
Right, but they're far enough apart though that if you wanted to stay within a mile of the carriage, that it would be a while before you got there.
I'll stay. I mean, I don't know. What was my mission precisely?
Scouting.
Just scouting.
Okay, I'll write out a little more.
Okay.
And then, circle back.
So you are going to approach the crossroads?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll perception check again.
Ooh, 21.
Nice.
5
Get
for
the
the
hang of
horse.
this. Now
Okay.
he's doing most of the work. He's like, okay, Allet, I gotta keep you balanced.
You see, waiting at the crossroads, 2 figures on horseback.
Do they look like the Inquisitors we saw before?
Yes.
Okay.
Hard to tell from this distance.
What?
It's hard to tell from this distance,
But I
but
think
you
it's
have
at
no
least
reason to
likely.
assume it's not them. They're definitely armored, so it's likely
They're
that's what
hooded
they
or the same or whatever.
Right, they appear roughly the same. You don't know if it's the exact same too, but it's 2 armored folk on horseback just hanging out at the crossroad.
How close is the caravan to
They may or may not have seen you.
water or the wood? Or we still pretty much in the
Oh,
plains?
you're pretty far away, yeah.
I will ride back in the direction of the caravan, and when we get into range, I will send the message of what I saw from Darkfeet to Kenaz.
Bing.
Darkfeet, tell him what we saw.
Hey guys, seems like those 2 Inquisitors might be waiting at the crossroads.
I think they're guarding it. What if they might not let us pass?
Allet is worried that they're potentially guarding it and might not let us pass.
Is there another crossing besides this bridge?
think maybe
I wouldn't get a
we-
response, but you could think about it.
Maybe we have to take Kiki's approach here.
What was Tiki's approach?
Kill them.
Oh, I mean, we do outnumber them significantly. I guess I can't be part of this conversation, but just
Can we change shape again? Do we have that?
I've got a stone.
Could we
Yeah.
make
Still.
it appear that their demise was a pack of wolves or...
I mean,
I could
at this
definitely make it look
at this
that
point,
way.
it's the crossroad. We could kill them, take them across the bridge, and leave them by the Farrowwood,
Yeah.
and then continue the other way.
Right. So they think we took the King's Road north as opposed to the path along the Farrow River.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we are making assumptions that they're hostile.
True. I mean, they were definitely looking for us.
This is true.
They're
before.
inquisitors. They're
If-
how long would it take
hostile.
me to get
If
back?
if it is the Inquisitors,
Go meet
then
them.
they're looking for us and they're hostile.
I can't be part of the conversation.
We should
Well.
still approach them. We should get the drop on them. We should approach them as travelers, see what happens, but be ready.
Well, if we can
We
all go into the back of the carriage and have an illusion cast on us as if we were vegetables once again,
Yeah, I mean,
and
they
then attack them.
they had previously met us, so it wouldn't be a far stretch for them to expect that they saw us packing up, they rode ahead. Now we've arrived later. We just need to play it the same.
Oh,
yes.
Can I be back now?
If by some chance the crow is their crow, then
If the crow's their crow, then
we're in trouble.
then gigs up and it's 6-2.
Yeah.
6 versus 2. Like,
Attack us on sight, and they'll probably underestimate us.
yeah. You know, the crow flew over at night. It, saw people sleeping. It may or may not have even seen that they might have seen that there's more than what was in the cart initially.
Yeah, they saw that.
On watch, but depending on how good that particular crow's sight was, they might not even realize that it was, a tiefling on watch and not. And then they know we have a tiefling. There's a lot of
variables.
Variables that I think we can take the opportunity to go down there.
And we don't even know if the crow is their crow.
Correct. Could have just been a crow.
Could have.
Birds do tend to find that.
I ride up on Darkfeet.
Allet, welcome back.
I don't know if they saw me.
Well, our companions don't believe it matters anymore. We will be able to approach them, and if necessary, we will overpower them.
Should we dismiss the horse? Will they think it's weird that we have summoned one? Or can we reason that Troll did it?
I think we should dismiss it.
It's
up to Kenaz.
It's not my
I mean,
gift.
do you fare well fighting on horseback?
On this particular horse,
Might not
the horse
be
can
worse.
also do a little fighting of its own if I'm off of it. They rode up early in the morning. If they ask about the horse, it was off grazing, and I don't know how you missed a war horse. Maybe if you'd been less interested in our vegetables, you would have seen that we have a war horse for our guard. The half-orc in full plate mail. Well, not in full plate mail, but...
I mean, you could. It's fake, so...
I mean, that's true. That's true. I could put on plate mail as part of my disguise this time. So I don't think it's unreasonable that we have a horse now.
Fair enough.
So will you transform into the same forms that you took last time? Or be disguised in the same forms?
Yes.
I will.
Cast Mage Armor on myself.
I don't have anything like that.
I will also take the same form that I took the last time.
If they don't react to us, do we just want to move along, or do we want to put an end to these two so we're not having them constantly having to spend the time and effort to hide from them?
I mean, I'm fine.
I mean, we can get right down next to them. Assuming they're going to let us pass, we would be able to get the drop on them fairly easily.
True.
Yes.
Well, why is this instance different than the last instance when we let them go?
The last instance they came across us when we weren't prepared. This time we're coming upon them when they may not be prepared. We're also now right by the crossroad where we can dump them in a direction that seems we were going a different way than we actually are, so it could be some misdirection.
Strategic.
Opportunity.
I also feel
the opportunity
that
cost is different for this particular
How close
engagement.
to the edge of the wood are they?
Half a mile.
Okay.
Seems reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of bridge is it?
Stone.
So it's pretty sturdy.
Yeah, it's a big, well-traveled bridge.
we didn't see anyone else traveling out here.
Not today.
We saw the
think-
big group of
I
visitors
think-
before, but presumably this is like two of them and they split up or whatever. And they,
Right.
I think 2 less Inquisitors to deal with is a fine plan.
Very well.
I mean,
If
I've been aching for a fight since we left the farm, so...
If we wish, we can arrive, as a little caravan traveling with vegetables, and then surprise them if things get bad. Or we can just start raining fire down on them as we approach.
they will probably ask why we're taking a wagon full of vegetables into the Farrowwood. So if we plan to
We're
see
not.
them, we'll
We're taking it east along the road to
To the halfling
The-
land.
Well, but we're gonna
Lands.
stop being on that road, right? We're gonna
No.
cross.
In like 2 days. So we hit the
Yeah,
this isn't where
crossroad,
we're-
we continue.
Oh.
Take us into the...
We're going to a different bridge.
So we're not crossing this bridge.
We are
We're
not.
not
Oh.
crossing.
The only crossing we would do here would be to
drop
their
off
bodies off
on
by
the
the
other
wood.
Oh, or if we wanted to take the other detour where we might get lost.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right,
I thought we were at like that crossroads. Then I think we should not do anything
I
with it. Then.
mean, perhaps 2 extra horses.
Mom?
I
Unless
mean,
they get recognized as Inquisitor's
Yeah.
horses.
That's true. They're probably branded.
Their bridles.
they're
Well, that's
war
not gonna
horses.
make
yes.
us-
We're also in different
Large,
lands.
big, large war horses used to carrying person and plate mail. That give us 6 war horses. You can run fast. You can change
6?
into an animal. We could leave the cart here and everything. You know,
Why
if we
would
kill
we have
them,
6
take
war
it.
horses.
Huh? Or 3 horses, but each horse could
people
conceively
can-
carry 2 people.
2 people
Sorry.
They're
can ride a war
big.
horse.
The big
I could be
You
a
can
war
run.
horse.
You could turn into another animal that could maybe carry 1 more person.
No, I could be a war horse.
Yeah,
So-
which could carry another. So we could
So we
conceivably
could-
carry 8 people.
and that might make
Which is the
traveling
group.
through the easier. I mean,
Leave
these
the
are
wagon
all,
here.
These are all. What's the human expression? Counting our chickens before they hatch.
You think we should approach them in disguise and see what happens?
I think we should approach them in disguise, but be ready for an ambush.
We should be ready for them in case they do know us, and if they don't, then we get the drop on them.
Right.
We'll see how quickly they react to my axe.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
So Kenaz will be on the horse now as the half orc.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'll be on the cart as the older woman.
All right. So a little more time passes as you approach. And you come across the crossroads with 2 armored people on horseback, kind of just hanging out, waiting. What do you do?
I already passed it.
Ah.
I'm not even going to make eye contact.
As we draw closer, can we tell if they're the same 2 from before?
Yes, they are the same 2 from before.
Okay.
I would make a hat-tipping notice or a motion as we drive past them.
Okay.
I'll,
They
rein
would,
up.
if you get to the point where you're obviously not going to stop, they will call out, halt.
Well, so as I say, I'll ride a little bit ahead of the group and ride up to them, and well met. Good seeing you again. Any luck finding those vagabonds?
Yes, we've had some leads.
Good. It'll be good to have dangerous people like those off the road.
It will. The one that's speaking is kind of just staring at you.
I'm gonna cast Charm Person on both of them.
Okay.
Can you do 2 at once?
Yeah, you can. If you do it as a 2nd level spell.
Nice.
But after they're uncharmed, they know they've been
An hour later, yeah.
An hour later.
Assuming they're still alive an hour later.
This could be bad. How do they know that it's us? Does that mean they caught Gilbert?
Who's Gilbert?
Oh.
I mean, that's my worry. That's my worry.
Sorry,
but-
who's Gilbert?
The halfling that drove
The 10 pennies and
children
the
and
rest.
everyone else out of here.
Give us the card.
Away from us. We were trying to save them by splitting up. So.
All right, what's the save?
For me, it's always for now. It's always a 16.
For wisdom, right?
It's intelligence for me.
Intelligence.
Oh, it's a It's a
It's a
wisdom
wisdom
save on their part.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Using
they
your
have to
16.
beat my casting AC, which is
Which is
16.
intelligent. Which is based on your intelligence.
Yeah.
They both save. And then the one that wasn't talking to Kenaz, the other one, turns at your casting actions, your movements and verbal incantations, says, "See, I told you, it was just as she said. They would be with an elf and a half-orc. I don't know where the gnome is, but they've got to have those tieflings with them." And he draws his sword and just kind of charges at you.
All
How
right.
does she know what they're as?
I'm not.
It's because the bag is a spy?
Oh yeah, and I totally forgot there was actually a half
And
orc
it's
in our
still
party
with you.
beforehand. I should
But
not
it's-
have been a half orc.
There was a half orc in her.
There was a half orc there.
Alright, let's do initiative.
Nicely rolled.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah!
Oh, we're rolling initiative?
Yep.
Yes.
Sorry.
Sword coming out and running towards someone is the...
I rolled a natural 1.
Conflapped.
My last.
14.
I asked us to be ready for an ambush.
I'm upset about the bag. I think
Nat
the bag
rolled a
has betrayed
7.
me, and so I'm distracted.
Do we have the little placards
Do we even
again?
know that's the she?
The what?
They're talking.
We
We had,
don't know.
we had made placards last time for, like, turn
That's a
order.
reasonable guess at
It's
this
true, we
point.
did. I don't know where those are.
What's
Oh,
wrong?
it sounds like
We
someone's
have
in
the turn
need.
order.
Yeah,
I don't have a
know.
fat
They might have-
marker. I only
Probably
have
we
thin
left them at
markers,
Adrian's
otherwise
unless
I'd do
Wesley
it.
thinks we got
No,
it.
I had them, but I took them out of my bag
Alright.
because there was broken glass
Alright,
in
I'll
it,
work on some.
and then I never
Where'd
put
you
them
put
back.
glass in your backpack?
Oh, one of my little potion containers broke.
Oh, that sucks.
Fold them in half. And write numbers. What numbers are you taking?
I'll take 1, 2, and 3.
I'll do 4, 5, 6.
It's just such brightly colored.
Are these guys going different in turn order? So do we actually need 7 for this one?
We need a 7 also.
Oh, we
Alright.
need a 7 as well. Okay.
Oh yeah, will like Trell and them be fighting? Or can they act on one of our turns if they are?
Oh yeah, so we'll need 8.
Essentially,
Wesley.
maybe.
No, they will not be.
Okay.
I'll make
Cool.
3.
Alright.
Trell is going to hang back and defend the other tieflings who
Can I use the book?
do
or
not
you
know
use the
how
book?
to fight.
Right.
Use it.
What?
You can use it.
So
Or
if
if
he
they
needs
do, they
right.
suck at it.
to, right. So if he
Yeah.
needs to, he will
Yeah.
jump into the initiative
Yeah.
order, but he's going to more stay back and
Right.
be ready.
If he needs to, we're in a really bad place.
Yes.
We could conceivably leave the wagon and move the oxen in with us. I'm sure they'd be helpful in the town. Just a thought.
Do we need the oxen?
Where's my?
We don't,
Not
but the Haven might.
True. Bob, you want to do a 7 as well?
Really? I did. Never mind. That doesn't-
And by draw sword and charge at you, I mean draw mace and charge at you.
It's just a very thin mace. Yeah, skinny mace.
My base isn't skinny. Oh wait, mine's a flail. Keep calling it the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I'm dork.
I love you, baby.
All right. Who's got the highest initiative?
Not me.
Probably me.
Not me.
All right, Darcassan, what you got?
17.
Very
Okay,
nice.
what's your hit points?
What are my hit points?
Yep. And your armor class.
I don't know hit points. 32.
Okay. And your
I'm
armor
what?
class?
It's 16 unless I go into Blade Song, and then it's 19.
Then let me know when it changes.
I'll say I'm going into Blade Song.
Nice.
All right. Who thinks they're better or worse than a 17?
Not me.
I had a 14.
14 armor class hit points.
45 and 16.
Great.
No, I wonder if that takes into account. That might not actually have my armor
wild
on it.
shape stats from you, Flynn.
That definitely does not have my armor on it.
So not
Are you
this
in
very
leather or are
well.
you in
I'm
plate?
in.
Are you in scale?
Or chain? Actually, I think I'm in chain. Let me see
Yeah,
what
you
they
plus one
actually-
from your dex. You get your.
It might.
Might. Oh, really?
What's base AC? 12.
It's 10 plus 1, or plus your dex plus your
Yeah.
AC.
Yeah, these
your
guys
armor
aren't in
modifier.
big plate either.
These guys
They're-
aren't.
It's like chain.
Yeah, chain or scale or something.
They're heavily armored, but it's not like it's knight level
Like they're tanks.
tanks, right?
But, fucking wisdom saves, so.
I know, that was really high. They both went at 16. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be casting wisdom save spells after that. Even though most of them are.
You might get lucky.
I mean, not to metagame or anything, but they didn't fall for the charm spells.
I don't know, I feel like that's a little bit of character knowledge. If you cast spells and you saw a powerful elf trying to charm them,
Yeah.
and they were not swayed by that, maybe you would think
Right.
twice.
Who's next after 14?
Not me.
11.
They failed their int save, so that's not surprising. It's like
11.
nobody has int as a bonus.
11.
That's true.
And what is your AC and hit points?
Rogues
currently?
and
36, 16.
Okay. After 11, who's next?
7.
That's probably you.
7. My hit points are 30 and my AC is 16.
Okay. And then Allet?
I rolled a natural 1, but it comes out to a 4.
4. And AC and hit points?
My hit points are 50, and my AC is 15, but when I'm dual wielding, it will be 16.
Alright, well, they get to go first.
They rolled higher?
Uh-oh.
Just a little high. Just a little high.
Uh-oh.
Wait a second. I thought she was blind.
So the one that shouted that she was right, they would be with an elf and a half-orc.
And a gnome.
I don't know where the gnome is, but they've got to have those tieflings around here somewhere.
Huh? The gnome who led the caravan that you guys came in with.
I thought it was a halfling.
No, he was a gnome.
Oh, I thought...
I thought
I
it
did
was
think-
halfling, too.
Was he a
I thought you
halfling?
said
I did think he was a halfling.
Well,
Alright, he was a halfling.
It could just be. It could just be human ignorance.
No one else knows that in terms of people who are listening, so we can call him a gnome and nobody would know any better.
Yeah,
True.
And you already said he was a gnome, so...
okay. So, that first one that gave the speech charges at Kenaz, and his mace lights up with a holy glow as he bashes you with it, or attempts to, at least. With a 15, which misses you, glances off of your armor. Clang. Clang. And then the other one will turn his attention to Darcassan, who obviously just tried to charm him.
Look, it's just part of being an elf.
Yep.
I'm just outwardly charming
Yeah.
and do my hands.
We don't
and
even try. It just
magic
happens.
words. I was speaking elf.
And summons a bolt of light that shoots out at you. I think he has to roll to hit on that,
Yep.
but he may not.
Or do you do a dexterity saving throw? Or do you do a dexterity saving throw?
No, it's against
Some
his AC.
spells are you roll an attack roll to hit, and some are the opposite, has to roll against your AC. So if he's rolling, I don't roll.
Yep, he's rolling.
If he's not rolling, I roll.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a nat 20.
That 20, great. Can I cast Shield as a reaction?
You can, but it won't do you any good because it's a critical hit.
Is that how it works?
I believe so.
Shield is on.
It just adds AC, right? Which it won't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a crit, it won't matter.
Oh, that's true. +5 bonus AC would, I think, block it, but, whatever.
No, crit's always hit.
Yeah, it's not a number anymore. It's just a crit.
Yeah. So, a flash of light streaks towards you, and you suffer 26 points of radiant damage as it's
Who?
seeps
Darcassan did?
right into your chest,
Oh no.
Cute.
exploding and then sort of sticking around, and you kind of glow a little bit.
Ooh. I'm not gonna fight this glowing.
It's your turn.
It's my turn. Where am I closer to the one attacking him or to the one that casts a spell?
You're closer to the one that is attacking Kenaz because he charged up in order to do so.
And about how far apart are they?
Like 10 feet. Not far.
So, how far are we from? Because we're still in/near the caravan, except for Kenaz, right?
Right. So, Kenaz, or Darcassan, your question was how far apart are the two guys?
Yeah, they're 10 feet apart.
Yeah. So then the rest of you, besides Kenaz, are about 30 feet away from Kenaz.
So we can get there one.
Right.
Okay. Excellent.
We can throw a little map.
And
on the
I
table
can
if you
cast a.
I do like maps, but let's make the process.
I can cast a spell and attack on a turn, or am I get to cast a spell and that's it? I forgot.
It depends on the amount of action that the spell takes.
You were first, right?
It's
And
a.
I have
I was
it is a full
14.
action.
So I, thought
I
it was
need-
pretty high.
1 and 4, please.
I'm less, for sure.
So if the spell is a bonus action,
No, I
then you
think
could
you're higher
still
than her. She's
cast
only
another, do an attack as well.
There we go.
And you could cast another spell with your other action also, just that if you
No,
ever
this would
cast
be a-
two
this would
spells
be
in
an
a turn,
action.
one
That's
of them
fine.
has to be a cantrip.
Right. This is an action. I'll cast Blur on myself, so I start to
Oh, nice.
shift and move. Any attack rolls against me have disadvantage.
You can tell that the sort of glittering halo of light around you, despite your shifting and blurring, kind of coalesces as a solid form in the middle of exactly where you are.
So it's like a fairy fire branding?
It was a guiding bolt.
Guiding bolt.
So
For 26. That's crazy.
it's 46 on a critical hit, so it was
Yeah.
86. But you know that only lasts for
4d6. No,
the next
46.
attack against you. It
Yes.
has advantage.
I've
So you basically
made
canceled out that
similar-
advantage on the next attack.
Right.
So you are normal to hit on the next attack that attacks you.
And then I will... Gods. I will move... I will move behind Kenaz.
Okay.
So that he's the tank in front of me.
Gotcha.
Just fuck my life. That was brutal.
Well, and apparently you know now that the effect only lasts one round, so you need to seek cover for one round.
Whereas my blur lasts for like 8 minutes. So.
Right. So you're fine on that. Okay. Kenaz, you're up.
Well, it's concentration. So.
Oh, it is. Yeah, that's right.
All right. So there's the one right next to me with the mace, and then I'm about 10 feet away from the other one who shot the guiding bolt.
Right.
As a bonus action, I will move into Blade Song. Sorry.
Okay, so you're up to a 19 on your AC.
19 on AC. And it gives me advantage on my constitution checks for maintaining spells. So.
Which is important.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
All right. I will cast
Well, it gives me bonus, not an advantage. Misspoke.
Bane.
Okay.
On both of them.
Nice.
And they have to make a charisma, they have to make charisma saving throws to beat my spell 13. Damn it.
So the one in front of you
I didn't realize my
fails,
spell save was so low.
but the one behind that shot the guiding bolt succeeds.
Alright, so the one that failed now has to subtract a d4 from all of his attack rolls and saving throws.
Great.
Yeah.
D4.
The inverse bless.
Bane is good.
All right. And then it's the priest's turn again. And they attack you again. Kenaz.
Okay.
With a 19 to hit.
That hits.
For... boring. Or, no, because you baned him, so it's 16 to hit. I have to subtract the d4.
That still hits.
Okay.
Wait, your AC is 16.
Because it has to exceed, or
It has
No, it has to hit those. So if it's 16, yeah, then it's still a hit. Yep. And you take 6 bludgeoning damage as he whacks you with his mace.
all right.
Plus side, it's that for both.
And the other one, not wanting to... waste.
Well, real quick, as a reaction,
Yep.
I hit him with some hellish rebuke.
Nice.
I point my finger at him and yell an infernal, "Fuck you!" Whatever that sounds like, an infernal.
Bob could probably do it.
And he can make a dex save
That's really
to not feel the
Does
pain.
he lose the d4 on that also?
Yes, it's all saving throws and attacks.
Okay, that's a failure.
How long does Bane last?
A minute, so 10 rounds.
It's a big, fat failure.
Cool. Then he's going to take 3d10 of fire damage.
That's a lot.
Is that a spell?
It's my hellish rebuke. Since
it's
I'm
not a
5th
Bane.
level, I get a... Oh, Bane is a spell, yes.
You don't have to concentrate on it though?
No.
Nice.
No, it's once
Nice.
it's
Because
cast.
it's just it targets the one.
Yeah, I had Hellish Rebuke as Raella, even though I only used it like once. But yeah, it's a cool spell.
So he takes... I should have rolled the right one. 9, 9, and 10. So 28 fire damage.
Nice.
Is it not in this one?
Don't you
Right,
come at me,
yeah.
bro.
Shut up.
He's like charred and burned and angry.
Rawr.
How many was it? 26?
28.
28. Cool.
All right. And I don't know how his horse reacts to its rider suddenly being engulfed in flames, but that might be something to consider.
Yeah,
Wait, they're on their horses?
they
Yes.
Do we have to like...
are. It manages to keep its cool, as it were.
Okay. But
And then the other one, not wanting to waste his precious guiding bolt. Oh, he doesn't have to charge up to attack you. Because it's the next attack, it's not the next melee attack. So he's going to stay where he is.
Attack, yeah.
And cast a what you call it?
Firebolt.
So did that make 9 feet?
Spider feet?
Sacred Flame.
No, fireball.
Sacred Flame. Is that fire damage?
I think
Or is it radiant?
is radiant. But I'm gotta
Your
look it
eye
up
water?
anyway because I'm
Yeah,
not
my
used
left
to
eye.
playing
It's
clerics.
going crazy.
Flame-like radiance. It is radiant damage.
Radiant damage sucks.
Oh, but that's not an attack roll. It's a dex save. So he's gonna do a different spell so that you have to actually roll, or so that he gets to roll.
Oh, so he gets to roll?
Yeah, because he wants his advantage.
He wants the advantage on it.
Right. He wants the advantage.
Or he wants to just roll one die.
Right. What else does he have?
To be fair, this casting something that I dex dodge, I get
All
advantage
right.
on
He's
it.
gonna say fuck it and draw his mace and charge at you.
Sweet.
Kenaz would get an attack of opportunity as he passes.
I don't think I can hear it.
That
That
is...
hits.
Yeah,
That's 16 on the die.
yeah, 16.
Can you
That's it.
to go?
Yeah. Which is with my big axe.
I think that's the idea, right? We're gonna come back.
Cleave them in half.
Yeah, I guess that was a 22 to hit.
Why are you?
so-
Is he
Nice.
attacking again?
I'm getting an attack of opportunity because he's moving away
He,
from me.
he ran up to try to hit me.
And that is
Nice.
15 damage.
Nice.
That was fucking
He
awesome.
did not like that.
I bet he didn't.
And gets a 15 only to hit Darcassan. so it's a
bounces
miss.
off me.
Bounces off. But as a bonus action is going to summon a spiritual weapon, which is going to attack you.
On the spiritual weapon is what kind of damage?
Force, I believe.
Force?
Feel the force.
Yeah, that would make sense. Force damage.
And I think
Trying to remember
it's
how much,
2d8s. But this is at disadvantage now.
Yes. Nice.
There we go.
Must or no?
I just don't know. Is this guy
So
number
a
4?
giant... What?
Is this guy the
This
4?
is number 4.
Okay.
A floating spectral mace appears behind you
Whoa.
and attacks... Ooh. I rolled well. On a
Disadvantage
hit-
has to hit a
Yeah,
19.
I know. I rolled a 16 and an 18, but I don't know what he adds to it. Melee spell attack.
Is it add the mace?
I have to see what his melee spell attack is.
Come on, 16. Don't beat a 19. Don't beat a 19.
You want
Plus 5.
God damn it.
So
Yeah, this game
then...
is really favored on melee attacks at low level.
Yeah. And you take 5 points of force damage.
Okay.
Okay. That was both of their second turns. Mr. Tiki.
Alright. Alright.
How far away are they from each other?
They're basically right next to each other at this point.
Okay. I will move up to about 25 feet away from them, and Mr. Tiki will go into his little pouch of goodies and pull out a vial and throw it at them. It will explode and hit both of them, and they need to do a dexterity saving throw.
Nice.
My guess is 14 is what you're trying to avoid.
Okay. Dex save. The first one that is engaged with Kenaz succeeds, and the second one that ran up to attack Darcassan fails.
Okay. So... that's worse.
Oh.
Mom.
That one takes 2 points of damage.
Ah.
Okay.
Fire damage.
Darg!
And that's it.
Okay.
Then
Nat.
Nat.
I see that we've been saying Darcassan. I'm pretty sure it's Darcassan. Darcassan.
Darcassan.
Darcassan. Is hurting pretty bad over there. So I'm gonna run up to him under cover of him. So on the other side from the Inquisitors. Yeah.
There is a
Darcassan.
There is a
Right
spiritual
there.
weapon at my back. A
Right.
So
big
don't-
glowing, floating mace.
Mace.
Right. I might
In
just
your
get
back?
thwacked.
It's
by
right
lights
behind me.
then.
It's like
Just behind you.
hovering behind me and it just hit me.
But it's not in you.
Thankfully, no.
Bad.
But it might as well be.
But
'cause-
walking into his threat range is going to provoke an attack of opportunity against
I'm
me.
walking out of it.
Walking out of it. All right, I'll walk
And
into
also,
it.
I'm pretty sure the spiritual weapon itself does not provoke attacks of opportunity. So,
Okay. So I'm going to walk up to
That would be a
him
little
and touch
OP.
his body
and it can't flank or anything either.
Yeah.
and cast spellcasting ability is like your spellcasting bonus, right? Your attack bonus?
Yeah,
No,
so
it's
it's-
whatever
for you, it's your wisdom.
ability. It's just your wisdom.
So whatever your
modifier.
wisdom
Oh,
bonus
just my
is,
wisdom bonus.
does
So
not include
3,
proficiency.
and then 2d8. And I will heal him
D8s, hell yeah.
for 10.
10?
Nice.
Not bad, not bad.
And then, would I have used my whole movement?
Probably.
You probably have a couple of steps left.
But you might be in threat range of one of the Inquisitors.
No, I'm like behind
Yeah.
Kenaz and
Okay.
Darcassan.
You
from
could
them.
move up to be within threat range of one of them. That was your plan.
I'm gonna sit tight but I'm going to use my bonus action to transform.
Yeah.
I will roar in my human voice, and as I do so, my voice becomes that of a grizzly bear's, and I have transformed into a grizzly bear.
You should like pull up a grizzly like roar on, like stock on your phone. So
right.
Or maybe he can just like cut one in later. But it'd be
Here, I'll
cool if it
find
was
one.
always like the same one, like a shortcut menu of all the things she can transform into.
Allet.
Okay,
Wait,
two
wait,
questions.
Wait.
Oh, we're waiting for the video.
Maybe?
There you go.
Not
Just
bad.
cut that part.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, Allet, your turn.
Two questions. One, so with extra attack, does that mean that now I'm
Thanks.
5th level every time I
I
can
was
attack
literally
twice?
at 1 hit.
Yep.
And if I'm
I figured
double
it
up
was
with that means
dire.
like 3 attacks or 4?
I figured. I'm sure
three.
Nat would have noticed
I was reading
all the
online
blood
and they were
coming out of your
It was
eyes.
like 3 because the second weapon or the second attack when I'm double upping is considered a bonus, right? I believe
You know
that's
what's
what.
weird about my character?
There we go.
I have like no attack.
You can
spells.
attack twice instead of once.
Really?
You take the attack
You have a-
action.
you have a strong
And
martial
then
attack
what
though,
is
right?
your
Mine are
weapon?
all-
Is that a
all my
fighter thing or is
spells
that
are-
Well, so I
somewhere
took
else?
the 2-weapon fighting style.
Defense
Right,
or
but so that's under fighter.
alteration.
Yeah, but it just says that I can add my ability modifier to the damage of the second attack. There
Right, so let
is...
me just...
In the fighting chapter, it talks about 2-weapon fighting, but I lost the page.
Yeah, that's fucking brutal.
Here on page 195, when you take the attack action and attack with a light melee weapon that you're holding in one hand, you can use a bonus action to attack. So you only get one bonus
all you
action per
need.
turn.
Right.
So I don't want to do that. Okay,
So
but
you
it wouldn't
do
matter
with
like,
your-
which weapon I used. Well, I
Right.
would want to
I want
say
people
that the one I
play,
want to use twice is like the
Magic
primary.
the
Right.
It wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, so you attack
And I see it
twice
happen
with
all
your
the
primary
time. Someone
weapon,
wins
and then,
they're at one
as a bonus
HP.
action, you could use your other weapon.
Okay. And
It's a tough fight.
so would it be like 1, 2, 3? I would imagine 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter.
As long as you're going to do it, mechanically, it would be
It's all
all
like
of my
the
one
cards you
action
draw,
and then my bonus action. 'Cause in case you wanted to use your bonus action for something else.
But also when I'm dual wielding, my AC gets increased by 1, so I want to do that.
Nice.
And then second question is, can I get in threat range of so that I'm like to near both of them, basically? So I'm within 5 feet of both of them. Or actually, it says it only has to be within 5 feet of the original target. So I guess I
Yeah,
don't really need
they're
to be.
closer now because he
Yeah,
came
you
up
said they were like
to
next
try to
each
hit
other.
me.
So as long as I'm
Yeah.
within range of one of them. Okay. So I have to hit first. So I will attack first with my flail. 14.
That is a hit.
Hooray!
Which one are you attacking?
Whichever one I'm closest to. I don't really care.
Okay.
They're all the same to me.
They're different.
The one that's
to me.
attacking Darcassan is closer.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I would do the damage for that too. Well, sorry, I wasn't prepared with my dice situation. Which ones are my D8s? Life is hard.
Jeez.
4. What number is that? Oh my god. Is that a 7 or a 1?
Oh my god. Sorry, she has these really decorative die. It's a 2.
Oh, what? Okay. So that's 8 damage.
Oh my gosh.
So when I hit a creature with a melee attack, I can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to damage another
Oh, I don't
creature
like
with the
these at
same
all.
attack.
Cool.
So I expend a superiority die.
Cut right through him.
Choose
You're
another
amazed.
creature within 5 feet of the original target and within your reach.
Yep.
If the original attack roll would hit the second creature, it
Sure
takes
would.
damage equal to the number you roll on your superiority die. 3.
Nice. So you
And
flail the one, and he just like tumbles backwards into his buddy.
It's like, elbow in the gut. Okay. Then I will use my second attack to also attack with my flail. Haha. Oh, this one does not hit. I only got 9.
Yes, that
But
is a
I will
miss.
use my bonus attack to attack with my scimitar.
Swing.
25.
That's a hit.
And then that is 4 damage.
4.
I didn't roll very well for these attacks, but yes.
Every little bit.
Scimitar's only a D6.
That's what I wrote down.
Yeah. Because it's a simple weapon, I think. No, it's a martial weapon, but I have proficiency with it for some reason.
Scimitar.
Druid.
Druids have scimitars.
Yeah.
That's
I
their
always
only martial.
thought that was so weird that it was a scimitar. Are Druids famous for crafting curved swords?
It must be in this world.
Curved swords.
I don't know where that started, but like even in other game systems that have druids, they
Really?
get scimitars. Yeah.
Maybe I should get one. I took a spear instead because that's badass.
I don't know, spear doesn't do very much damage.
You could
Well,
attack
neither
with a
does the
sickle.
scimitar. I think they're both 1d6, right?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, most swords are.
Plus, I know the spear you can throw a spear, so that's cool.
I have to choose something
All
that's
right.
light. Or that has
What am I looking for? I'm looking for
finesse.
finesse.
I just choose finesse.
Alright, so Darcassan.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast Green Flame on my blade. And I'm gonna attack the asshole who's been hitting me.
Okay.
Number 4 in initiative order. And if the attack
So,
hits...
just so you guys are aware of what's happening, they are both acting on 1 and 4.
One.
They're each taking 2 turns.
I
Yeah,
thought
I
it seemed
noticed.
a little...
a
They
little
have
cheaty.
some kind of...
Whatever, I'll attack the dude who hit me pretty nasty. And
Sorry, I kicked you.
on a hit, they're going to take the damage of my sword and fire, and then the fire is going to leap to the other one and deal fire damage of its own, and that's with my intelligence modifier.
Nice.
That's a +6 to hit, so 22
That's
to
a hit.
And on the one, sadly, not a lot of fire damage. He took 5 damage from the weapon, +1. Wait. Yeah, that's how math works. Got it. And then the other guy took 5 + 3, so he took 8. So the one guy got hit for 6, and the other guy got hit for 8 fire.
Nice. That one guy keeps getting hit by fire and he doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, neither do I.
Yep. And also, if you're
Shouldn't
paying
have
attention
fucked
to
with
the
us.
initiative, you'll have noticed that we went straight from 7 past 1 to directly to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kenaz, your turn.
All right.
Not quite sure why, but
I still have the one standing next to me, right?
you pulled him, you eat him.
They had some kind of perk that...
That's the one that's been burnt a lot, right?
Yep.
No,
Okay.
I'll have
Mr.
him.
Crispy?
You don't want him, I'll have him.
He is very crispy.
He
Mr.
is
Crispy.
very
Crispy.
crispy.
It's gonna be hard to make it look like a bear killed him later. With his burned corpse. We should probably just burn the thing.
So what you're saying is I should cast Cure Wounds on him
Yeah.
and then kill him again.
Except that all you hear is so you can't really tell.
Oh, I've hung out with that bear enough. I know what she's saying.
You know what's up.
I am going to smack him with my axe because he looks like he needs an axe in the face. That is a 21.
Hits.
We are beasts.
And he takes 15 damage.
Nice.
That's a D20 you rolled.
That is a d20 that I rolled. Never mind, he does not take 15.
Great, though.
I mean, I like that number, but... But I don't know of an axe that rolls a D20 to deal damage. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, some legendary item.
It's
cocked.
It's cocked. It's cocked.
Let me set this on
Yeah,
something
flatten
even.
that.
He takes 6 damage.
6 damage. That's a lot less than 15.
Yes.
An amount less.
6. All right.
And then for my second attack, I will hit him again. Because
Okay.
he's still alive, I assume, correct?
He is.
Alright, because I get 2 attacks. And so my second attack is a 17 to hit.
It's a hit.
Or, sorry, 18, which still hits, and only 6 damage.
Okay.
Nice. You got 12 damage on it? That's good.
Still not too shabby.
That's pretty good.
I kind of regret taking the great axe.
Yeah.
Should have taken like a great sword.
So that one
Roll 2d6 for damage.
More accurate.
holds up his hand, and a white yellow light appears in it, and he presses it to his chest, and his crispiness disappears.
No.
Now he'll look like a mauled bear. Like he got mauled by a bear.
I do plan to maul him.
It's alright, I'm gonna light him on fire.
I'd tell you that. It'd just be like...
No, his mullet afterwards.
And then Kenaz would be like, she means she's gonna maul him.
She could eat his face, guys.
So we can burn his face.
This guy was on fire and wildfire bear?
It's gonna bring up a lot of awkward Mr. Tiki questions if I literally eat parts of this guy as a bear. Things that Nat does not want to think about. I don't know. It's all the circle of life, right? Yeah.
I like how everyone's fearful of the questions. Like,
He's gonna get lit on fire.
what am I doing?
Which is gonna make parts
You're
of him
making
taste.
this philosophy. Wait, you're making our philosophies consistent. That's what you're doing. It's a good function. That is.
And I mean, I think it's logical that the bear would eat the crispy parts. They probably taste really good. They've been cooked.
True. Well, I'm supposed to keep all of my mental faculties as a bear and only transform my body. So if I find them extra crispy and delicious, it might be a problem for me later.
Thing.
And then as a bonus
Waking up at
action,
night.
he summons a second spectral mace, which will attack you, Kenaz.
Ring it.
An 18.
That will hit.
And
No one has, like, Dispel, right? Can we dispel these axes?
I do have Dispel Magic, and I have it in my loadout, but I'm a bear. I'd have to untransform.
You can't cast in your form? I thought you could.
No, I can't speak.
Oh,
So anything with a...
But you can cast other spells. that
I don't
have-
think so. I'd have to look
I
it up.
thought that we discussed this and that you could.
No, we discussed this and I couldn't.
Oh.
I mean, here, I'll look up Wild Shape just to make sure, but I'm like 99% sure you cannot cast or speak
In Animal
Wild
Farm
Shape.
until you're like,
It's like
level
a-
18 or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, it's
Which ain't
that
gonna
is what I
happen.
understand as well.
Yeah.
you take 6 damage from the spectral weapon. And then the other guy, his spectral weapon attempts to attack Allet, because she's the one that most recently whacked him in the face with a flail.
And I'll do it again.
Well, he misses you.
Ha!
Sucker.
But then with
Confidence.
his own attack,
It's because my AC is 1 higher now.
he whacks you
Me?
with his mace, which glows with
Mace whacker.
a white yellow light as it
Wait, his actual mace or the
His
spectral
actual mace.
Okay.
The spectral mace swung in the mist.
You can't cast spells, however transforming does not necessarily break your concentration.
Right, so if you cast the concentration spell and then turn
You
into an animal,
continue to concentrate
makes
because you
That's
retain
Yeah.
your mental faculties. Unless that concentration somehow
Or is there like a
requires
feat
something
you
your
can
body
take to do
can't
it? Because I really thought you could.
It says you can't cast spells. It doesn't even say dependent on. That might be a 3/5 thing.
right here.
Oh, B spells 18th level.
Cool.
So
All right.
Yeah, that would
much
be
later.
insane.
So that was a natural 1. And so I was like,
Aha!
okay, well, I'll roll to see if he accidentally hits Darcassan. And another natural 1. So he accidentally hits his buddy in the face.
Nice.
Nice.
Don't that one asshole.
Not
you, Wesley.
Boris, why did you do that?
Not you.
Yeah.
Imaginary asshole you've created in our plan has.
For enough damage to explode his face off, and he crumples from his horse.
Oh, it's gonna look like they killed each other. This is great. I mean,
The bear cheers. Strangely.
What does that mean, Kenaz?
He
Nat is
then,
very excited that they're killing each other now.
right? He then, let's see here, 'cause that guy,
Clobbered his
6,
friend.
7, 8, 9,
Hilarious.
17. Yep.
Just that perfect.
That was the friend who had been crispy, right?
He had been crispy. He healed up, and then he
took a mace to
got
the
exploded
face.
by radiant mace damage to the face.
Wow.
And then that guy, like, completely in horror at what he'd done, uses the rest of his turn to flee. So y'all get attacks of opportunity against him.
am I close enough?
And he says, "This is not the way they said it was going to happen."
Oh, interesting.
Killing your own friend?
He was under
I
the
can't do the
impression.
double, right? Because that's the bonus and you only get
Right,
your
you just get the
reaction.
1. You get your reaction.
Oh.
Balls.
I get an 18.
And by you all, I mean the
I get
4
two.
of
He
you.
just attacked me.
If I'm
Tiki's not
within-
close enough.
13.
That's a hit.
I got
Oh.
18.
13
That's
to
a hit.
hit.
Oh my
12
God.
The bear can
Damage.
7.
Okay.
Yeah. Do I get my
Well,
full
that's
attack, or
good.
do I have to choose one of my
You get
attacks?
one of them.
All right, I'll try to
14 to
swipe
hit.
him with my claws.
And 8 fire. Well, 7 blade, 1 fire.
Okay.
I definitely hit 23 to hit and 10 damage, clawing damage. I guess that's slashing.
All right. So he turns to flee, and you guys just like lay into him and like cut off bits of his armor and then his back and his arm as he's like trying to flee away, and he like tumbles off the back of his horse as it like gallops off into the night.
Oh, we
So
wanted
he
that
did.
horse!
So he deed.
Yes.
He
And also, both of the horses disappear.
Oh, damn it.
Spectral
Whatever.
horse.
Spectral
Must have
horses.
been. Must have been.
At least I can't
You
go.
can't talk, you're a bear.
Right.
She
All right.
speculates that they were also
I
spectral
go,
horses.
ow, and then I untranslate. I unttransform into a bear,
And then translate.
and then I'm like, yeah, spectral horses, and everyone's like, yes. Cool. I am interested to. Well, first of all, do we notice anything else going? Like, have we attracted attention in any way? Is there anything
Any
else happening
reinforcements
around?
or
Do we see crows?
Grissom across the bridge?
Roll a perception check.
My passive 20.
Ugh.
19.
Oh my god, such
3.
trash. 7?
I'm ready.
21.
About to burn
So
that
is Darcassan.
dice.
Thank
We're
God
ready.
we have an elf.
I know, always.
I got a 19.
Who beat a 14?
We're so
Allet
ready?
and Darcassan.
Okay, so you guys look around and do not spot anyone on either road in the distance at all. Who beat an 18? Okay. You guys also both spot on the bridge over the river, just a little ways away. I mean, it's that there's a raven, or
A crow.
no, a raven.
A raven.
Huh.
Yeah, there's like different things happening.
There have been different birds.
Yeah.
There have been,
Yeah.
ravens and crows. But I thought the crow was bad.
A raven sitting on the edge of the bridge,
Raven
who then
makes more sense for
alights
here.
and heads into the wood.
A raven.
Wait.
Or what's takes off and
Exclaim.
flies
And I
into the
point
How
to it.
far
A
away
raven.
was it,
Into the woods.
like, from us when they spotted it?
A quarter of a mile.
yeah.
Not nearby.
I mean, the river
you could
itself,
see it
the
when I
crossroads
pointed
is
at it.
quite a ways from the actual river.
The raven flew into the forest.
Yes.
Great.
You guys don't
The
know,
raven
like your
might-
village doesn't know to send out like raven scouts or whatever, right?
I don't know that they would, but the raven might be a change shape.
Yeah. That is not anything that I would expect to have been coming from there. We're still quite a ways. They occasionally keep watch on the bridge that we cross, but that's not common. This far away, I would be shocked if that's anybody we know.
Well, it seems like they want to know us.
I'm gonna turn to the
No,
bodies,
they left, though.
and I'm gonna investigate the bodies.
I feel the...
For 19.
Wait, what?
I'm investigating the bodies. I rolled a 19 investigation. I want to know if they have sigils on them, if they have letters on them, if they have anything that would associate them with birds on them.
Coin purses.
Yeah, I'll take those
Yeah,
too.
that.
I mean, only be practical.
So
What's their armor
Although
look
missing
like?
coin purses would
Chain.
indicate...
Like,
That's a good point. I mean,
condition.
how do
Like
we
the
want
one
to
guy we
their
laid
death?
into pretty good.
Do we want to just
yeah,
try
I mean,
to
it's still
totally
in
get
pretty
rid of
good
them?
condition.
Do we want to make it look like they killed
We
each
could
other?
just... I mean, we could create a bonfire or something.
Let's put them in the river.
Not a bad idea.
I mean, and it's obviously like the chain has the cross on the chest.
They would think you were with the Empire.
Well, yeah, we could start
It could be
using those
useful,
stones to...
Be them? Oh my god. Except
have
that one guy's face
maces.
is gone. God damn it. How are we
don't
gonna
know.
imagine
did
being
know.
him?
This isn't the
They have
poetry
some
potion. It doesn't
some
matter.
stuff.
Well, we have to imagine being him to be him for this.
I mean, no, you're just masquerading as like an Inquisitor, not this particular.
What kind of helms do they have?
Good thing
Any?
that also know his
They're not
name
wearing
They want
helms.
helms.
and
So we saw
personality.
the
Like, oh,
faces.
hey, Jim.
That's true.
I didn't know if maybe they had a
Yeah, their
full
visors could be
helm,
up.
but maybe they just had it up so we saw their face, but then we can't remember. It's like, oh, we'll just put on the helm and put it
Or
down.
at least something
Hide
that cover.
faces.
No, these guys were not
Oh, yeah.
as well armored as some of the other Inquisitors that you saw before. Like when they were riding in the whole group, some of them were wearing like chain and some of them were in full plate.
Full plate, yeah.
Trell, while you guys are investigating the bodies, would walk up and sort of just casually say, "It never ceases to amaze me how fast they can move."
The Raven?
No, the
No,
Inquisitors.
the Inquisitors.
Yeah,
They did seem quite fast.
yeah, they're speedy.
Do they have like unique boots or something? Like is
Also, is anybody terribly hurt right now?
Yeah.
I'm pretty crapped out right now.
I will.
Nothing that a night's rest won't solve, but while he's doing that, I'm gonna detect magic over the two of them.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Oh, you said they had sigil. You said they had like cross necklaces, right?
Yeah, so kind of
I'm
woven
beat the
into
fuck
the
up.
chain of their armor is the
What does that get me?
cross of St. Cuthbert.
Got it.
1d8.
Do they have anything else on their persons, like that would
Maybe
need like
some
any
stuff.
sort of bird handling equipment, straps,
10.
feed, anything,
Nothing like that.
No
letters,
mod or anything.
personal effects, keys,
10? I'll take
anything?
10.
So you find on the
That only
bodies.
puts me 11 under. That's fine.
Also, Darcassan
I can- we can-
Is anybody else hurt? A bunch
I'm
of us
not.
are kind of that took at least a little.
I didn't take any damage.
You can lay on
Is,
hands or
Switch my
something.
hand.
Darcassan-
I can heal you.
But
Is
this
Darcassan
one-
and I the only two who got hurt?
Tiki and Allet not
Hit
taking
dice
any
on a
damage.
Short rest.
That's
like,
true.
It's not a problem.
That's right. We're confident.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
And
So
competent.
on one of them, you find 30 gold pieces.
Anyone writing this?
I'll take it.
And
6 acorns for Harold.
And 17 rose petals.
and in his bag a small painting.
Cool.
Of what?
Like rolled up? Or like a tiny frame?
Yeah, like just like a little this big sort of pendant almost sort of charm painting of a young woman.
Aww.
I'm sure she was a twat.
She's better after that.
Is that what your character says?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Nat said that.
Nat's a slut shamer.
No, I don't think twat, it means slut. It's just a mean name for a person. I mean,
A
she was
lady.
sleeping with the
Uh-huh.
enemy.
And then
Or
the other
daughter
guy.
of the enemy.
True, still.
The daughter of an enemy?
I don't know,
Could
do
have been his
Inquisitors
daughter, could have been his wife,
oh,
could have been his
yes,
lover,
They
could have
take priestly
been
vows, I don't know.
his niece.
Okay, I see this painting.
It's inappropriate.
Could have just been some creepy pendant he found somewhere.
Right, and the other guy is wearing a bronze chain necklace that looks like it might be worth something,
Taking that too.
and
Split up
has a couple of leaves of parchment on which are sketched pretty accurate drawings, like scary accurate drawings of
Our faces.
the 3 children. And
Wait, including Strax?
Yeah.
That's not his name.
Astar?
Yeah.
Astor.
In his Tiefling form.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he's only 4.
Well, maybe he only changed recently. I don't know.
No,
Or you
okay,
think
he was
that
born that way.
Okay.
He was
Yep.
born
So
that
the
way.
3 of them and
And the gnome, what was his name?
Gilbert.
Gilbert. I want to say Gimble, but Gilbert.
Who's Gimbal?
And Darcassan and Mr. Tiki.
Oh, but not me.
Well,
Sweet.
it's a good thing that they took the cross-country route and are not on the main roads if they have this good of information about what Gilbert looks like.
Or
Why
everyone
were they concerned
has
about the
this
half-orc then,
information.
if they know what
Do
the
the-
trees
Oh,
look
and also
like?
the half-orc.
Oh,
Do
okay.
the drawings
Hank.
look
Hank.
reproduced
Hank.
in any way? Are they tracings or transfer copies, or do they look original?
Make an investigation check.
Or, yeah.
22. Wait. 25.
I mean,
Wait.
we were the ones who entered the house.
24.
Okay.
We were the
Final
ones that
math.
entered that house.
They
No,
look
you-
originals. They look like
They
they were
weren't
drawn by
expecting these
hand
three, is all
originally,
I know.
not some sort of
Oh,
etching or
true.
tracing. Did somebody say they were detecting magic?
Yes.
Who was doing that?
Darcassan.
Okay, Darcassan, you would notice that those 5 sketches have a faint afterglow of divination magic on them.
Yeah.
Oh, so they divined your pictures.
Fantastic.
I take a little bit of
That's
time
cool,
to like
actually.
just really get into my memory what they look like, so that I can use the stones later to
Look like these
try
generic.
and look like one of these generic.
All humans look the same, obviously.
I mean,
Obviously.
basically. Then I turn to Trell, especially. I'm like, all right, we should get the cart going. My warhorse and I can take the bodies across the bridge. And
What if we loaded them? It might be macabre, but if we loaded the bodies on the cart and took them even further from the scene.
I think we should just dump them in the river.
I'll just throw them on the back of my horse.
No, we should throw
That
them
way
into
you can
the
get
Farrowwood.
the
They'll
cart
never
and you
be
guys can
found.
start down the
I feel
trail.
like
I'll
something
catch
might bad
up.
happen if we cross the bridge here.
I mean,
Yeah.
into the wood they'll never be found, but I think we should strip them of their emblems. The
How big is the
magic
river?
in that wood, I feel, would raise the dead.
That's a good point.
It's
The Farrowwood's
like
done stranger things. And
I-
worse.
100 feet across.
I think
It's pretty
leaving
big.
them
I mean, is it
on
moving,
the
like,
trail
pretty fast?
No, it's
going
kind of
the
lazy.
other direction might better serve our purposes of misdirection.
This is my only translucent day.
Alright.
Well, I guess these kind of are. Yeah, I mean, putting them on a different trail I think would work, yeah.
Can I look up a spell?
Yeah. I mean, this was the last
Thought you
place they
said,
were known
"Can
to
I
be,
have
so
a
it makes
cup of
sense
spell?"
that they just like
May I
wandered too
have a
close to the
cup of
Farrowwood.
spell?
Yeah, just
I want to know if I can
I'm
ask
curious
the
about that
plants to
raven
swallow
one.
their bodies.
yeah. Well, find out in time.
In the
That's
Farrowwood?
alright.
No, just in the plains. Like if I can ask the grass to swallow their bodies.
I can move the earth to
Grass.
essentially
Grass.
bury them.
That's true.
The spell doesn't enable plants to uproot themselves and move about, but they can freely move branches, tendrils, and stalks. This spell can cause plants created by entangle to release.
Yeah, I can just move earth, throw one in, move the earth back on top, move earth again.
If you
throw
do
one
that,
in, move
I'll
earth
ask the
again.
grass to grow over it, and it'll be an unmarked,
Yeah.
undetectable grave.
I mean, do we want it to them to have just vanished, or do we want to try to set
Have them be found
on a
later?
different path?
I feel like one of
If you
them's
want to
Or
face is
you can
smashed.
I would prefer they never be found, but
I
I
would
can
prefer
see
they're never
the
found either.
I can see the argument. Whatever you guys think is best.
I mean, they're so close to the Well, how close are we to the Farrowwoods?
Half a mile.
The,
I mean, you can
Wow.
see
the shadowy thing
yeah.
across the
Okay.
river.
Yeah, it's a half a mile
Things exit
down
the
through
Farrowwood,
the valley.
right?
It's true, they could have been
Yeah.
grabbed
Things
by
exit
any
the Farrowwood,
manner.
so anything could have been taking
creature.
them out. And disappeared is a perfect Bermuda Triangle of Farrowwood, so I think that sounds about right.
Kenaz and Nat would know that things do not
Leave
the
the
Farrowwood
Farrowwood.
to go hunt or anything
Yeah,
like that.
so there's
But perhaps they were foolish enough to wander in. They wouldn't be. They were inquisitors. Maybe.
people know the general.
I think it
Like-
just gives off a vibe. Don't
Yeah,
come in here.
it gives off a vibe, but people that live around here know that as long as you don't go into the wood, you're safe.
Yeah.
And if you go into the wood, you're probably 100% not safe at all. See you never.
See ya never. Just like these guys.
I mean, I'm fine with burying them.
we could even do a sloppy burial along the other path. That would maybe lend further credence to the idea that we were going that way.
What skills do
I mean-
we as a party have that might enable us to
I could try to do sloppy. It's
like a
gonna be pretty
misdirected
uniform.
setup scene?
You do,
Is that like a
Jesus,
is that like
I
a
mean-
deception thing?
You move the earth, we throw them half in, you move it back over half of them.
Like we're
Their
thinking about
legs
making it look like
sticking out.
somebody going the other way killed them or something like that.
That's a little outside of my
Yeah,
Me too.
bailiwick.
it's not really
We
what
should
I would
probably
do.
just disappear them.
Yeah, I think,
I think just
Alright.
burying them.
Well,
So you-
rather than debate about it, let's just disappear them and get on the road.
all right.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'll run
Get out of
over
here.
with you to your spot that you're riding them out to.
You
We'll
ask
just take 'em a little bit off the
earth
trail,
to
like-
swallow them,
Uh-huh.
and I
You're just like throwing them in the woods.
grass to
No,
grow
just on the
over them.
just off the side of the road a little bit, burying them.
Oh, you're
you
doing
know,
the
a few
berry
feet
thing.
deep, just off in the dirt.
Yeah.
Are you
So
doing the grass
Darcassan
thing?
commands the earth to part
One pit, throw one in.
and puts them in and commands it to return And then
One pit for the other one in.
Nat asks nicely the grass to regrow over it.
Yay, the grass! Woohoo! Grass. Grow over their bodies. Eat them.
All kinds of new nutrients. All right. Humans taste good.
Have a nice grass day. All right.
Grass
cool.
or evil.
All right, let's get this cart
Yes, we need to
rolling
ride on.
again.
Definitely. It is late afternoon, maybe, on day 4.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't ride as far ahead or behind right now, feeling like we just killed the 2 that we knew were in this area.
You're not as
And we
concerned.
haven't seen any more in a while, and we're continually getting further and further from the people, so I still ride though. I've got my horse
Incident.
now. I'm feeling a little horsey.
Okay.
I
And then roll
wanna
me a
consider
perception
riding
check.
through the night.
Why?
At least
To
halfway.
get a little away.
5. It was a 19 as it spun and then just tilted over. Fuck you,
19,
dog.
fuck you, 5.
Well, you feel pretty confident as you ride away and back and scout the road ahead that there is nobody watching you.
Guys, we are all alone on this road.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
Are you watching up in the trees?
Or the skies.
We are all alone on the road.
But you travel uneventfully for the rest of the evening. The sun begins to set. You can choose to make camp and be done for the day, or continue to ride on through the night and take an exhaustion a level of exhaustion to continue on.
I mean, would we be exhausted? Only the oxen
What if-
would be exhausted because we're all in the cart except
Well,
for like
if we
him.
sleep,
I think it's just
like,
better
but can we
to-
rotate
always
sleeping
sleep.
in the cart?
I always sleep.
How big is this cart? Can we
You're on your own.
conceivably? I mean, there are
Yeah, we can all
freaking
fit.
9 of us.
It won't be comfortable.
The oxen wouldn't like it.
I assume there's 2 drivers, and then 6 in the back, and then 1 on the horse to keep moving. My horse is smart enough; I can tell it to keep up while its rider dozes. If somebody thinks they can
Is your
sleep in the saddle,
is your
I
horse
could.
also subject to like exhaustion rules or whatever?
I mean, probably if we kept riding it,
But it's
for an extended
celestial.
period of time.
This is my cable, right?
So if we slow the pace for these oxen, but ride them through the night, they might not be as exhausted, and we'd still make ground. I think the only pressing reason to go faster is a fear that they might be trying to check in, and not being checked in, they're going to send more riders on our way.
Correct.
Right.
But they could also be further up this road, so if we hurry up this road, maybe we'll run into them sooner. Like, we don't know.
Right.
Well,
We'll be exhausted.
the further we go, I feel the chances
further
of
away we
seeing
go, yeah.
Empire people are going to drop.
Either way, I'm going to sleep.
Let's push through,
It's up to y'all.
through the night.
Maybe
for
just
tonight.
half
Just
the
for
night?
tonight.
Well, you could probably... We could all perform a short rest activity, right?
Yeah, I mean, you essentially have done a short rest
Short
at this
rest
point.
at this
You
point.
can take a short rest whilst traveling.
We needed 6 or 8 hours for a
8
long
for the
rest.
long rest.
Yeah.
And I can say between Mr. Tiki and Darcassan,
Darcassan.
that you can keep the oxen on track through the night and everybody can sleep.
Even while he's trancing, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
But you wouldn't be keeping watch, also.
right. So between
would
Mr. Tiki watching the whole night,
And we would dismiss the horse? Or...
I mean, that's up to him.
I mean, can you just summon the horse at will? Like...
I mean, I have to keep the spell available to be able to summon him at will. But
Right.
which it is kind of nice to be able to have him and then not need to have that spell prepared.
How long does he last,
Yeah,
though,
how
after you
long
summon him? Like, indefinitely?
yes,
Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
until he dies.
Can he just ride beside us and no one has to ride on him?
Yeah.
Or, if you feel confident that you could sleep on him, I guess.
I've slept in the saddle a time or two.
Yeah.
I could do it again if the need is there, which seems like it kind of is.
Okay.
Let's keep it going then.
All right.
So am I doing checks by myself?
Yeah, roll me for
You're a lone
perception
watcher.
checks.
But you do have a tranced elf next to you. That's weird.
That's weird.
It's gonna work out well.
Yeah.
He's tired.
I'm 5. I don't have perception. I don't even
At
know.
all, really?
No.
I don't either.
Just
Just
double
me
check
then.
that. Yeah,
I
no,
have
that's
some.
a 0.
Because I took perception.
Okay.
Are you perceptive?
Yeah.
All
You
right.
probably get extra for being an elf, right? Nice.
Let's see.
I'm 4. This is good. But not that.
The night progresses.
Okay. At least it seems to me. 16.
At some point during this part of the
Google
watch,
it.
somebody on the road ahead of you. You spot them.
Okay. I yank back on the horse or oxen for full stop.
Kenaz is riding separately,
All right.
so you'd have to
Kenaz!
Well, he's
hail
like
him.
tied to the thing, but
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah.
There's people up ahead.
Just one person.
One person up ahead.
Are they riding?
Nope. On foot.
All right. I'll. How far ahead is this person at this point?
Pretty close at this point to be able to be seen.
All right. I'll.
You're basically upon them at this point.
Yeah. Keep the cart here and be ready to wake everybody. I'll ride up and
All right.
check it out.
I'll keep the oxen ready.
Sorry.
And then
Trot up to the person.
So it's a human-ish sized person in a long, dark traveling robe, cloak with the hood up, just kind of walking along. You can't really see their face from your angle.
Okay.
They don't seem to say anything or stop traveling, stop their movement when you approach.
As I kind of get alongside them, I rein my horse into match their pace. And,
They're coming towards you.
oh, they're coming towards me.
Yes.
Wow. In that case, that as I approach them and as I notice I'm not really reacting, I kind of turn my horse so that I'm blocking the path. And, hello.
Person looks up at you. You see the face of an elf or half-elf, maybe, male, probably, look up at you and say, "Oh, greetings, traveler."
Greetings. Late at night to be just walking the road.
What better time?
Guess there are fewer people out and about. May I ask your name?
He introduces himself as Farrowwood.
just seeing the interaction up ahead, I will start to shake Darcassan to wake him up. Darcassan.
I'll do a perception roll immediately. That is a 20.
There's a person up ahead.
19, I mean. 19.
I've sent Kenaz up ahead. He seems to be doing some sort of blocking strategy to engage this person.
I'll hop off the cart and hurry up ahead to where Kenaz is.
And I'll walk towards the back of the cart with the intention of waking more people up if I have to. But I'm not going to do it until I need to.
Well met, Farrah. I am Kenaz.
Well met.
What, where are you traveling to? If you don't mind my asking. Meeting a hooded, cloaked traveler on the road piques some of my curiosities.
Understandable. I'm just heading south to the Gulf.
Oh.
Where are you traveling?
What's the name of the halfling city? I can't remember. I lost all my notes.
That's fine. The closest
Caladrass is the country.
The country is no, that's the gnome lands.
Oh, I thought that was
Is it Renacio?
Yeah, Renaciel is the
Well, whatever the land where we...
Renacio.
yeah,
the road.
those are the halfling lands. But this road will take you. The first of the halfling cities you meet would be Wartis.
Wartis, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, do you
South of Renacio.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
We're heading towards, Renacio.
Very good. Halflings have great hospitality. I've just left from there several weeks back.
Well met,
wow.
traveler.
This is one of my
He would-
companions,
he would-
Darcassan.
We would reply to you in Elvish.
Oh,
Well met.
excellent. I'll switch to Elvish. I'm Darcassan Sianadel.
Farrowwood.
Welcome. How are the woods these days?
He gives a sly glance over and says, as dark as ever they've been.
Right. We've been, on our journey, we've been watched by ravens and crows. Have you seen these birds on your travel?
I have. The ravens live in the wood. They watch the road.
Right.
I don't know that I've seen any crows recently.
That's good to hear. There are... Excuse me. I'll switch back to common. There are...
Much appreciated.
There are clerics of St. Cuthbert riding this road.
I've seen them.
Right. Do be mindful of that.
Have you seen any recently?
Just yesterday, a group was heading along this route.
Going north?
Yes.
How many?
2.
2. Can we give the description of the 2 we saw?
Yeah. He would think for a second and say, well, they had horses like that and dressed like that,
Right.
but
Human looks like
a human face to me is a human face. My apologies.
No worries.
They only passed you going north, though. They haven't passed you coming back to the south, the direction you're traveling?
That's right.
Very well.
Should we perhaps make camp and invite this character in?
Might as well.
Or if you're happy for the company, yes.
Right, so at that, I'll leave Darcassan to talk to him, and I'll come back to the wagon. Mr. Tiki, it's a
Yes.
friendly traveler, another elf. They seem to be getting along quite well. We're going to make camp here, and he's going to tell us a little more about the road ahead, share, a bite, a drink with each other, maybe make a new friend.
That sounds great. I will look forward to making new friends, asking them questions.
All right. Just kind of pull the wagon off to the side, let anybody else who's still asleep stay asleep.
Sylvan.
I think I'm probably out, and so is Allet.
Do be mindful.
You mean asleep or out of the wagon?
We are transporting very precious cargo. And it didn't seem like you were adverse to meeting Kenaz. So I'll trust you with this info. We are delivering... And you'll see them when we're at our campsite. We're delivering tieflings out from the Empire of the Cudgel.
Oh.
And I would request that if you encounter these clerics down the road, well, you never saw us. Or you saw vegetable peddlers.
Do I,
Roll a persuasion check.
Sure.
Oh, wait, so did you mean that we
We're
awaken?
asleep. We're asleep.
Okay.
This
yeah,
whole
'cause
time.
we didn't, might as well not disturb as many rests as possible.
If we stop the cart, you could say, I feel like you could argue you're a light sleeper. A natural 20.
Nice.
That's 20.
He would say, I understand that there is much work to be done in the world that those in authority should not be made aware of.
Excellent. I mean, you do travel at night. So.
Yes, I'm sure that the courtesy would be extended
Absolutely.
as well to
Your
me.
business is your business, and ours is ours.
Very well. Be happy to share a drink with you and then be on my way.
Sounds great.
And they follow you back to the cart.
So we let them continue sleeping, so it'll just be the 3 of us, plus this elf.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Unless you need rest.
Oh yeah, that's right. We don't need rest.
Yeah, since we're stopped, I'm going to actually bed down for what remains of the evening, and I trust that You guys will raise the cry if need be.
Absolutely.
So now I tie up my horse and get out my bedroll and...
Okay. So, he shares pleasant conversation with you, and we can play that out if you want. He talks about... He gives you word of the news in the north from where he came, and describes how there is some sort of political unrest in the Halfling lands right now. Some sort of drama with the princess is out running about, gallivanting across the countryside, adventuring, and that the king is not very happy about it.
I mean, it seems both not halfling and halfling at the same time. So it seems fitting.
And what lands do you hail from?
Oh, I hail from the far north, in the old kingdoms, from the old kingdoms of the elves in Sylvana.
Sylvana, yeah. I'm from the war-torn regions of Korkoreth.
There is much history to those lands, though.
True. Much lost history as well. I know an elf from Sylvana. I really do miss her. Wonder if you've met her, Eliana?
I mean, I've known an Eliana or two in my time. It's a not uncommon name, as I'm sure you're aware.
Right. She was a Liafiel.
No, I haven't met one of those in some time.
Well, I do hope she's well. Spent many a years with her. Long time ago. She's actually... Have you heard of Bladesinger?
I've heard. It's an art that those in Sylvana have long since abandoned as unnecessary.
Yeah, she taught it to me. It's proven mostly useful, though I don't really find the combat aspect of it all that wonderful. I like the movement. It helps keep me fluid, you know.
I can understand the art to it. I would think that would be something worth studying.
Yeah. Well, anything's worth studying. We've got ample time for it.
Yes, I agree. As I've always said, one can wander the lands as much as they wish, but one must always remember to stop for a decade or two and learn of where they are.
Well, that was... Up until recently, that's what I had done in... That's where I met this fellow, in Caladras. We were there for, what did you say, like 80, 90 years?
With you, yes.
Yeah, you were there much longer.
Tell me, how did you come to be out here? I've not seen one of your kind this far west.
Well, I wouldn't normally be anywhere except for the kingdom. I'd be in Caladras only. Unfortunately, I had to flee that area, and because of me fleeing, it's led me to some very interesting locations.
Roll a perception check. Or an insight check.
Insight. 12.
I mean, he wasn't very subtle about it. When you mentioned that you had been in Caladras, he kind of looks a little confused, and then, like, kind of understands something silently, like that he maybe has heard of you specifically. Typically, Warforged don't leave what's left of the Rydraki Imperium, and they are all still sort of soldiers to the Empire, the remnants of it, at least. And when you said that you had been in Caladras, had he ever heard rumors of such a creature in that area, then he would know that had to be you. But he chooses not to mention. But you can see the recognition in his face that he's maybe heard rumors of someone like you in that area.
Yeah. Sir, your facial expressions seem to admit that there is something about my story that you either already knew or have heard about.
In Sylvan, I'll say subtle, isn't he?
He gives a little chuckle. As I said, I've not met one of your kind outside of the remnants of the Imperium. One hears tale of strange goings-on, and it's interesting to actually have met someone.
Yes, well, have you news of Caladras and Caladras? I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. How do you say it?
Caladras.
Caladras. Have you heard any news in Caladras? Unfortunately, I had to flee because people were searching for me in that area, and so I thought my gnome village would be safer if I left.
I can't say that I've heard anything recently. It's probably been 100 years since I was in the gnomish lands.
That makes sense.
Fucking elves, man. Fucking elves.
Very well. I would appreciate if you don't mention me to any humans that you might meet on the way.
Of course, as I've shared with Darcassan, the same goes for me.
Agreed.
At that, he sort of settles into a quiet stare at the fire that I suppose you've made, finishes his drink, stands and says, "Well, I still have a long road ahead of me. Thank you for the company."
May you have a pleasant journey.
You as well.
Untroubled nights, and definitely keep your eyes out. If you start seeing crows, it's probably no good.
This is good information to have. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.
Farewell.
What was his name again?
Varo?
Farrowwood. Farrowwood. There we go.
Someone who we're supposed to forget, so it's all good.
FERA''ARO. Farrowwood.
Darcassan,
Yes.
should I be concerned that he had a facial expression that showed that he knew something about me?
No, I mean...
Had you heard about me before you met me?
No. To be fair, I met you when I was partially running from something. Look, you know that there are creatures like yourself or like myself who have lived long lives and might recall something from your past, but there's equally so many who have no knowledge of things that happened centuries past. I don't think you have to worry about too much. Just keep in mind that, you know, the occasional dwarf or the occasional elf might have heard about you or heard about something you got caught up in. It doesn't necessarily mean they know directly you or anything like that, but word travels, you know.
This is true. And those in the Gnomish village continually call me a folk hero for some reason, although all I did was something that I thought anyone would do. But perhaps word has spread of my actions.
Yeah. And maybe it'll bring you a boon, and maybe it'll bring you a detriment. There's, you know, nothing to be worried about that. And to me, an elf that travels at night doesn't want to be seen, so I don't think you have to worry too much about him spilling the beans.
Good point. I am not concerned of him spilling any vegetables or legumes, but I think that...
Can't even keep it together after that. Come on.
Oh my god, That's the best Mr. Tiki line yet.
That's going to be our first T-shirt. Don't spill the legumes.
I like it.
But I trust in your instincts. You have not led me astray. So thank you. I am now at ease.
All right. So the rest of the night passes uneventfully. Do you continue traveling at dawn or continue to rest?
We can...
Or continue traveling immediately?
I'll nudge you and say, should we get on the road again, or would you rather rest here? You can be like...
You probably spent an hour chatting with him.
Right.
So... Yeah, we can just get back on the road.
Get back moving. The oxen have had a little break.
The oxen, the horse, the rest of the crew.
Did you wake Kenaz up?
Slept. Yeah,
in a way that he's going to go back asleep. I'm not going to be like, get up. I'm going to be like, yo, should we move or not? That's all I'm saying. Because I'm content to stay. You guys need the rest.
I camp and
I just already stopped.
Okay.
very well. So we'll rest here.
Okay.
Continue to keep watch.
So yeah, it was already in the second watch that you found him, and it was probably at least until the end of what would have been the second watch, if not like end of the third. So
One more watch.
It's
sure.
early the next morning at this point. It's, 2 or 3 a.m. or something like that.
So like 2 more watches.
Okay.
well, I think Mr. T will probably just continue to do. I don't know if you finished your
I can do one watch, but I probably need to rest a little bit more.
11.
Does trans have to be consecutive for us?
It has to be 4 hours. I mean, it got interrupted, but...
It's fine.
Just because it said for the long rest that our rest had to be consecutive, but I wasn't sure if trans had.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't have to be consecutive. Yeah, you see nothing else for the rest of
You
the
can
watch.
do some advantage.
Clutch. That's 2 in a row.
You do catch the sight of several ravens nested in the trees across the river.
Not as scary anymore. That's what ravens do.
It's more I'm curious. What?
They're just... The elf man said that
they watch the road?
they watch the road.
Yeah. But for who?
We should have asked that question.
There's that part of me that, would he have shared?
We'll never know. We didn't ask.
It's for the forest.
I mean, not directly.
Did I still catch a long rest even with my little jaunt there? Okay.
Yep, you are all long rested.
All right.
And the next day breaks.
In the morning, I'll tell Nat and Allet the cold version of what happened last night. We met a person. We talked to them. They left.
The cold version?
Yeah, I'm not giving any details. Just...
You didn't wake us up?
No, Kenaz had it under control, and then they were doing elf talk, and then we spoke for a while. He told us that there was some unrest with halflings up ahead of us in their kingdom. He had a facial expression that made it seem as though he knew about me in some way. And then...
Quite the cold version.
He left, and the only concern we have right now is Darcassan is concerned that he will be spilling some legumes. Outside of that, we're fine.
Mr. Tiki, to spill the beans is a common phrase meant to signify that they would tell a secret they weren't supposed to give up kind of some information they weren't supposed to.
It's an idiom. Kick the bucket.
Yeah, I don't think
example
the gnomes ever had that phrase.
No. They probably had something similar.
Yeah.
But it was something more
Well, it's
gnomish.
about what, you guys?
Us.
We
asked him to not mention.
Us. Wait.
I think we
asked him not to mention
we are the
he meant
beans
us.
in this situation,
We're the
from what I
beans
understand.
in danger of being spilled.
Yeah.
Out
So
of the
you
bag.
decided to tell a random traveler that came across us at night, who you had never met before.
Do you not know how elves work?
I don't know how elves work.
But you said that in Elvish, right? Or
Yeah.
did you? Yeah,
Oh,
we
so
don't
then
know.
it's
we
fine.
have no idea that he's
Oh,
like
you
that.
have no idea that.
Yeah.
But you would still. I mean, he said the spill the beans thing. So
Yeah.
like,
but
I mean,
he also
you could
saw
still ask.
us. He saw us, and so that's
Well,
what
Yeah,
we
he
assumed.
sat in camp
That's
with
what we
us for like an
assumed he
hour.
meant.
He saw me and the two of them.
Yes,
We know that the Empire has their clear descriptions.
correct. So at this point, I think the only beings are 3 of us.
All right.
That there's
That's
a
a small
tiefling, a
number of
warforged, and a half-naked elf running around on the
Keep
road.
forgetting about the badger loincloth.
Mr. Tiki.
Why is my...
You don't forget
It's
about
just
it. That's
I
the
don't know
best part
why
about
my
it.
like mental picture of you is without that.
Yes.
I need
Without
to add
what?
that in. His badger loincloth.
Oh.
I mean, I'm also pretty tattooed as well.
Yeah,
need to, like, work
need
that
art.
into
I need
my
art
mental.
somewhere, so I don't see you either. I see
I know.
something else.
I think you should devote one of your memory banks to common phrase and idioms. Seems like it would be useful to you in the future.
One of your memory.
Very well.
banks.
If only there was
Very
some
well.
like book he could read or something.
I will.
I
Too bad we're
thought
out
that
in the
Mr.
middle
Tiki
of
had read many
nowhere.
books.
I have intellectual books that don't speak of spilling beans.
So while this is happening, I look into my pack and I look at the sketches that we took off of the Inquisitors yesterday. Do they still have our faces on them?
They do.
All right. I don't think they're going to disappear.
Wait, so they have divination magic on them. But it was like a feint, so it's not like an ongoing
Yeah.
It's like they
know
were
where
produced
we
by
are.
divination.
charm. They were just
Right.
produced
It
by
was
divination,
just an
okay.
after effect.
But it's not like, I don't know, like the Harry Potter paintings that it's like,
No.
That it's live at that
yeah.
moment.
Right.
Or
Some
Somehow
kind
they
of
were
ongoing-
produced through a divination.
Right.
But are now
Instead of having an artist sit there and draw it,
Yeah.
it
I
was
was just checking to make sure that they couldn't be spying on us.
No, I think
fair.
that's what they use the crows for.
Spying on us?
yeah, I think
Probably.
so.
Probably.
All right. So you
Can you
travel
speak
through the
to
day.
these ravens?
I can speak to the ravens.
If they get close enough.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like there's just oodles of them watching as we pass.
Are there ravens right now?
Roll a perception check.
22.
There are.
Not 22.
Can you talk to those ravens right there?
Are they across the river?
Yeah, they're across the river. They're not really within earshot.
Can I forge the river? Is it easily crossed? Or is it not?
It's wide and slow and probably pretty deep.
All right, sure. Yes, I'll talk to the ravens. I walk down to the river's edge on our side, and what do I
Shout.
know about...
Yo, Raven!
Yo!
Right.
That's it.
So Raven.
We have to cut that out too.
Yes, or we'll get sued.
I was really hoping that would be like
That
the
is on my
ending
Disney.
point where
Disney
she's-
as
Also
well?
Disney.
Yeah.
She's telling us about what the Raven said. She's like, "Oh yeah, the Raven did this." That's just so Raven.
I just held on to
Y'all
it.
ruined it. Let it- You spilled the beans.
You
too
said
soon.
that's so. Just cut it off there. Because she said that's so, and she trailed off. So just cut it off there.
So,
So indeed.
what do I know about the River Pharaoh? Like, do I think it has special properties?
It's there's definitely some sort of magic to the river.
Alright.
Okay.
More that it is keeping the forest in than
Some
anything
kind
else.
of magical barrier situation. All right, gonna go ahead and wade across it slowly, and then like hail the ravens.
Okay.
Like,
Make me an athletics check
yep.
because
Okay.
it's too deep to just wade across. You're swimming.
I'm swimming. All right. With my 8 strength. Good. Do I have to take a penalty on my armor?
What kind of armor do you have?
Yeah.
Studded.
No.
No.
3. Rolled a 3.
You should probably come back.
3. Do I feel like I can't cross it, or am I getting swept away?
Yeah, you kind of get swept away a little bit.
All right.
You like
do I recover?
you wade
I
up
get
to your
swept like 100 yards
you wait
downstream.
you wade up to your like waist to where you're gonna have to start to swim, and you like go and like take 2 strokes, and you're like, oh god, I can't do it. You flop onto your back and just kind of float for a little bit until you like get caught by a branch and are sad.
So I'm looking sort of sad and drowned.
We all just watch and like look at you like you're pathetic. You're just like,
Right.
I'm gonna be like, hey, Teak, get over here.
Yes, how may I be of assistance?
Yes.
Do you need me to dry you off?
May I climb? No. No, different idea,
He
though.
just opens up the hairdryer.
You have a hairdryer attachment, but you can't remember idioms.
You mind if I climb you? Just a little. I mean, all the way. Can I climb you?
Give her a hand. That's another idiom. Don't literally give her a hand.
Come over here.
Extend your hand to her.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, 'cause I wanna make fun
what
of
if
you.
I got on your shoulders?
Uh-huh.
You sink, right?
Yes.
What if we just walked through the river? Do you need to breathe? I'm not sure how this works. Oh, could you just walk me across the river? I could talk to the raven.
I suppose.
Cool.
Pretty heavyweight.
Is that gonna work? I'll get on his
I
shoulders.
mean, we don't know.
Okay.
Tell me you don't have to do an athletics check to get on his shoulders.
No, but you're going to have to do an athletics check to not
Be
fall
slapped
off.
of his
Oh
shoulders.
god, alright, here we go, ready?
But you can get advantage because he can hold you.
Yay. 10.
All right. You successfully cross the river.
Thanks, Mr. Tiki. Okay, so we're right on the edge of the, maybe in like ankle deep water, in the water facing the
On the far
Farrowwood.
side. Okay.
On the far side, and I will call to the ravens.
All right. So
in
the
raven
riverbank
language.
on the far side is quite steep
Okay.
and gnarled with tree roots that are crawling down and like trying to drink the water.
So
But
is
they
there really...
don't really any of them make it to the water.
Oh.
It's cool.
So is there really actually like a bank on their side?
There's
or is
not
it
really
just...
a bank on the other
Okay,
side.
so you're just standing on my shoulder while I'm under the water, not breathing.
Yeah, essentially.
Mhm.
Just saying.
It would have been a pretty great idea, too.
I like this idea.
Well, Mr. T got to come with me this time.
So because there's no actual riverbank, there's no knee, whatever. So
That's
you're just
true.
standing on me
Yep.
while I'm under the water,
Yep.
not breathing, looking at
As
fish.
normal.
Chords.
Yeah, as normal.
That's not out of the ordinary.
I wave to the ravens in Raven tongue, and I say, "Hello, friends, Raven friends.
Hello, Tiefling friend.
You watch the road here.
Yeah, we see you.
I also see you.
Everyone waves his wing. Shut up, Jerry.
He waves his wing. You're drunk, Jerry. Go home.
This is my home.
Oh God, you're all ravens now. Who do you watch? Who do you watch the road for?
For the forest.
The forest sent you to watch the road?
Yeah.
Do you have enemies on the road that we could help you with?
No,
I am a child of the forest.
We've seen you before.
Yeah. My teachers take the form of ravens.
No, we like
I
her.
cannot yet. Yeah?
What's her name?
You don't know.
I want to pretend to be the raven.
Oh. I forget her last name. Her first name's Rosemary.
Rosemary?
Yeah. Yeah, Rosemary. She taught me.
Yeah, shut up, Jerry.
Rosemary was here. Not.
All right. Well, we'd love to help you if you need help. So you can always come to me and talk.
Okay.
All right. Bye now. Hey, Mr. Tiki, let's turn around. Oh, wait. Did you have anything you want to ask the ravens?
He's underwater.
Oh, right. Okay, wait.
Absorbing the fish.
All right. Never mind about that. All right.
For those of you
I'm just
listening
sitting-
at home,
I'm just sitting on the other bank of my horse, laughing as I see her in the water. Like, come on! Like, turn around. She forgot to tell him to signal to turn around.
I'm gonna just try to tap on his head. And then, like, do a hand signal underwater. Do a turn around hand signle underwater.
Perception check. I see it.
Right in front of your face.
There you go. 18.
Do you have a periscope you can send up?
No, it's not.
Is that mine?
little
Very well.
sonar.
I see the signal, which I think is a
Thank
signal
you.
to return
Okay.
or to bring her under the water, but I think it's to take her to the other side.
And we return back to the other side. Do I make another check?
Yeah, make another check.
I really liked
But with
your
advantage.
like looking around completely.
Nat 20.
oblivious. That was
Okay.
good.
And make it. I even look pretty good coming back.
All triumphant.
I've learned a thing. And I'll tell you that the ravens are, like, they are watching the road for the forest. And they know me. And I told them that if they had enemies that they wanted us to take care of, to come to us. So that will give us some information if that happens.
Cool. Would we know from doing this trip, is it common for the forest to watch the road? Or is there something that's a little out of ordinary?
No, it's pretty common. You may have never noticed specifically that it's ravens that watch the road, but maybe you've never noticed, but Nat probably does know that the ravens watch the road.
Yeah. Cool. Forge ahead?
Do you know that
Onward.
that in the wild, ravens will actually, if they find like a frozen deer carcass, they'll call out to attract wolves, so that the wolves tear up the carcass so that they can eat afterwards.
No, that's interesting.
It's freaking weird.
Ravens are really smart.
They
like
are
scary smart.
All right, so
Huge. They're like this big.
Naz and Kenaz.
Kenaz and Kenaz.
The DM is already shipping us.
Is that our ship name? Naz and Kenaz? Sounds like a really powerful spell.
Right? Kenaz and Nat know that you're pretty close to the old ruined bridge that leads into the forest. That you made a lot of progress overnight, that you could probably get to it today if you pressed harder again. It would probably be well into the night that by the time you made it there, but you think you could do it tonight if you pressed hard again.
This old ruined bridge, like, is it so ruined we're going to have trouble getting the oxen and horse across?
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to leave it behind.
Well, we can probably swim them. Well, the cart we're going to leave behind for sure. We can't get the cart through the woods.
We can just free the oxen.
We could also turn them into hardtack for the rest of the journey.
Turn them into what?
Hardtack.
Wouldn't that take
Jerky.
a while? Like a month? Doesn't it take a
Yeah,
while to
for a whole oxen.
naturally do stuff like that?
You could
I mean, a day.
butcher them and cook it hot over a fire. Get it really dried out.
Yeah, that's a whole day's work at least.
We're kind of on the run.
We kind of are on the run. And we won't have any trouble finding food well.
True.
Between all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I still have rations. I think it would take too long. I think we try to make it to the bridge tonight.
Yes. We'll camp at the bridge.
Camp at the bridge.
One last night
Mm-hmm.
out of the forest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then in we go.
Are there other birds besides crows and ravens here?
Yeah, I mean, you see normal other prairie.
Like a vulture?
Well, perception check.
12?
No, you don't spot any vultures.
Anything of a decent size that could carry a bag full of gold long distances?
I'm intrigued.
No. Mostly like small songbirds and stuff.
Okay.
Ground dwelling birds. Prairie chicken.
Very well.
All right.
Let's try to get to the bridge.
Yep. On the road.
You would know from your experience in other forests that maybe once you're in the forest you could find an owl or a hawk or something that might be able to do the trick.
But they might
Convincing
not
it
want
to do
leave.
so.
They might not want to leave the forest.
Right.
Yeah. No problem.
All right. Today especially, since I know we're pushing hard for our second day, I don't really ride ahead much.
Okay.
If at all. I walk the horse a lot, or even walk alongside it just to keep it fresh.
Okay. The day goes without incident, and night falls. You continue to travel.
To get to the bridge, at least, right? We're
The
going to
horse?
continue until we get to the bridge.
Well, the horse will swim. He can swim across. He's a trained horse. I'll ride him across the river.
But we haven't got to the bridge yet, right?
Right. You'd think that it's easily another hour or so along the road. You could get there before midnight if you pressed into the dark.
Yeah, we
Let's
can
do
do that. Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
Okay. So you arrive at the bridge. It's a grand, almost looking stone bridge with arches, across the river, holding it in place. But it's what maybe once was grand, and it's kind of crumbling. There's spots along it where you kind of have to find the path that's still, open, and might take some athletics or acrobatics to kind of successfully cross. You could probably take the horse across, the oxen maybe not.
What's the river like at this point in the...
About the same as it is anywhere.
Wide, broad.
Wide, broad, not so... Pretty lazy as far as speed goes.
And what about the far shore?
So they're same as before. There really isn't a shore on the other side. It's just the trees overgrown on a sheer face almost. The bridge goes into the wood a little way, and there's several large old oak on the far side that sort of arch over with their gnarled branches, framing the road into the forest that you would know from experience does not actually go anywhere beyond just past those two oak. And you would also know from experience that there is a spirit that guards this bridge, whose name is Captain Jermaine.
Captain Jermaine.
What is it?
Captain
Good
Jermaine.
guess, though. Captain Jermaine.
He's just a old guard who maybe hundreds of years ago, when this was a new bridge, guarded it and has since passed, but is still bound to the bridge. And you've come this way a number of times before, and he's a friendly guy, just kind of hangs out and knows the people who come and go and knows the ones who don't, and doesn't let those who don't.
Just so everyone's aware, I don't believe any of you have come this way before besides Nat and I. The bridge we are about to cross in the morning is guarded by an old spirit. He knows the two of us. He lets us and those with us cross, but don't try to cross without us, or you might have problems.
What kind of problems?
He tends to not let people he does not know cross the bridge. Very willingly.
Would you say he's like an alarm system of some kind?
He can serve that purpose, but that's not what he is. He's the spirit of an old guard who guarded this bridge in ages long past when there was a kingdom and this bridge was guarded, and he challenged the people who came across and kept unwanted visitors out of the kingdom and let trusted people into the kingdom. And now that the kingdom is gone, he just controls the bridge crossing.
And if you stick around and talk to him, he'll just go on and on and on about when he used to guard this bridge and when the king that ruled over it was here and all this stuff. And he's just the most chatty guy ever.
Is he human?
Seems like a charmer.
Wes?
Yes.
He a human ghost?
He's a human ghost.
What else makes ghosts?
Anything with a soul?
Well,
I don't know.
You don't think they're elf ghosts?
But they're different. They're banshee.
They're banshee? I mean,
Wouldn't
is
you just
banshee
be
the form that all elf ghosts take, or just that's
Pretty
a
sure
form they
those are-
can become? Like a person could become a white, or
Like most
a
elves get reborn.
skeleton,
The
like
ones
a
that don't
draugr.
become banshee.
Is that true?
Bob knows more about the elf lore than I do.
Is there a special term for
In your own world, no less.
I don't know. It's pretty strict Greyhawk,
pretty,
except for a few things.
Is there a special term for a dwarf ghost or an
Maybe
orc
there
ghost?
is. I don't know. I've never encountered one. I've
Well.
encountered undead dwarves.
Let's
Oh yeah, that's draugr. Yeah.
Yeah.
So similar.
get
They're
some
like
sleep.
made. Oh,
Well, those of us who sleep, we have arrived late to this bridge.
I'm gonna sleep.
We should rest now. Tomorrow we go into the wood, and the Farrowwood is not to be taken lightly, as I know you know.
Yeah.
Quite. So we all need to be on our A game.
That means you need to take it seriously.
Yes.
Because that's also an idiom.
Okay.
Light does not come from the Farrowwood.
It doesn't. Okay. Well, I've lived there for a little while too, so it's not.
Oh, so you
uncommon.
understand that concept. Okay.
Not the concept, but I've lived there.
Is it literally dark inside? Is it like so thick it like blocks out the sun kind of?
It's
Yes.
like dark.
Cool.
It's like magically dark.
Nice.
Good place to hide. When you're
And
on the
magically delicious.
There are leprechauns there in a sense of the word.
Yeah.
In a sense of
Nobody wants Shadowfell leprechauns. They're
I'm not
bad
so
enough
good.
when they're from the Feywild.
Yeah. All right, so you make camp there to wait out the rest of the night before heading into the wood. Bum bum bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
Before
That sounds like a good stopping spot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tune in
Really good.
next time for the entering into the Farrowwood.
Farrowwood.
go.
Farrowwood.
the bridge.
Thanks everybody for listening, and hopefully you enjoyed the first episode of Mile High Dungeon Delvers. Hopefully it wasn't too terrible.
Or the first few episodes.
Yeah, this is episode 1. So.
You say that every time.
Yeah.